and back in goal. He was out briefly in Game 4. Here's Andy Moog.
Yeah, 5 goals on 9 shots he allowed. He's also got a bit of a bad back, so I think that's a big reason why they gave him a rest. And Tom Barrasso, who has been solid in this entire series, and the team was much more solid in front of him and actually behind him in that last game. We'll get more into that.
Both teams played a physical game in Montreal. It was the Canadiens in Game 3. They won. It was the Penguins in Game 4, and they won. So both teams figure they have to be more physical. That should lead to our best confrontation of this series so far as the Penguins dump it in, and Mark Recchi still looking for his first goal of the playoffs. Moves it around. Recchi able to clear the zone. It's picked up Slager. Headman pass now for Jagr trying to move in. But it was knocked away by Malakoff, and there's Saku Koivu, number 11. His first shift to these playoffs. Backhands it to the line, but not out. Stu Barnes could not get it by Popovich. It's out to center ice. Back the other way. Francis lets go a long shot that was wide of Andy Moog. Popovich for the Canadiens. They'll slap it around. Slager, though, waiting there. Makes a nifty play to hold it in, but now it's taken away. And back the other way now comes Ruzhinsky, and Koivu drives a shot on the save made by Barrasso. Well, if that's any indication, Brian, he got an awful lot of steam.
Surprise, surprise. He hasn't taken a shot, I don't think, yet since he had the broken bone in his hand. We watched him practice several times. Koivu was only sweeping the puck. He comes out, takes a slap shot the first shift.
And there's going to be a penalty here on Kasparaitis. He did not pick his slap very well because the puck was slow and coming to the Montreal player that he wanted to hit, and he hit him well before the puck got there. And Mick Magoo indicates the interference call against the Penguins defenseman.
Well, Big Saku really surprised us all. I was shocked, actually. He took the slap shot early on. Maybe he wanted to test it as well. He'll come down the ice, 11 red, will end up with the puck. He just pulls the trigger. This is the guy with the bottom hand. Left hand has a small bone right above the knuckle. That's the fraction. That's what's giving him the problem. He's going to be passing, sweeping the puck over the last couple of days of practice, but pulled the trigger right away. And you can tell the boys are pumped up about it. They went, yeah, he can shoot, he can shoot.
So the Canadiens have the power play as a result of this. The interference call to Kasparaitis at 1:18. The Montreal Canadiens so far in the series have scored a power play goal in each game. 1 for 5 in Game 1 as you look at their overall numbers. 1 for 5 in Game 2, 1 for 4 in Game 3, and just 1 for 7 in Game 4. But they gave up 2 shorthanded goals in that Game 4 loss.
Yeah, that's a big if or big but, all right.
Yep.
No doubt. They got to do something about that. But the fact that they have scored 1 goal in every game is a very big positive. That consistency there really helps the team mentally prepare for this game.
Malakoff dumped it in. Barrasso unable to control. Around the boards, and chasing it back will be Patrice Brisebois. And Brisebois now hands it off for Malakoff. Back for Brisebois. Power play Montreal to start Game 5. Here is Don Boost, at least a point in every game of this series. He's been wonderfully consistent. They get it low for Corson. Now it comes back down Boost. And a shot here is stopped by Barrasso. Another penalty coming, and Andy Moog was creeping out of his net, banging his stick on the ice to let the Canadiens know that another penalty was about to be called. And Brian, you said it at the very top of the show. You don't remember seeing so many 5-on-3s. We're going to see another one.
I know, it seems as if the referees almost are going out of their way to show that we're going to call them no matter what the situation. I'll tell you what, I love it. And I think most of the players and the fans do too. The Montreal bench was not aware that Nick Magoo was calling another penalty because he was down deep in the corner on the same side as the benches. They never saw him. You can see him there in the frame with his arm up. But the Canadiens bench never showed it. Andy Moog was all the way to the bench before I think anybody saw or heard him, so Montreal wasn't able to get an extra player out there, but that's not a good sight for Pittsburgh Penguins right there. 2 of their guys in the penalty box, 5-on-3, at 1:19.
The other concern for Kevin Constantine, he's shorthanded 5-on-3, and the 2 guys in the box are both defensemen.
That's another extremely good point. 2 guys that they use in key situations just like this are the ones in the penalty box.
1:19 remaining on the Kasparaitis penalty. That's the time you see up there for the 2-man advantage and the face-off deep in the Pittsburgh zone, and Domfus controls it. But right off the face-off, Domfus takes down Ron Francis, and Domfus, the captain of Montreal, pointing at the Pittsburgh captain, saying he took the dive, knowing that he would get the next call. And so that 5-on-3 lasted all of 3 seconds.
Well, look at Alain Vigneault's face there. He can't believe it. This is a huge penalty for Damphousse, and that's why the frustration level is there. A 5-on-3 for 119. Could have been absolutely deadly for Pittsburgh. Watch the drop of the puck. Damphousse moves into him, gets the stick in between the legs. Damphousse may be upset, but that is definitely obstruction, and they have completely clamped down on obstruction.
So we have 4 Montreal Canadiens skaters, 3 for the Penguins. So it is still a power play for Montreal. As Malakoff sends it ahead, Corson deflects it deep. Morasso out of the net. He shoots the puck as well as any goalie in the league, but couldn't get it by Corson here. Malakoff straight away. Winds up, thinks about it, hands it off to Corson, back to Malakoff. Malakoff switching places with Brisebois. Brisebois, the one-time of the save made. Rebound, Corson couldn't get it clean. Recchi sends it around the board. Malakoff on the right point now, hands it off to Recchi. Malakoff again. Moves it to Brisebois. Malakoff put it in the skates of Recchi. Malakoff drives the shot. Good save made by Morasso. Corson given a shove by Taylor. It comes back to the line. Malakoff now to Brisebois. Cross ice. Recchi with a chance here. Makes the deep, but couldn't pull the trigger on the shot. Back to Malakoff. He drives it. It is blocked and cleared by Francis. As Corson is done, he's looking for a penalty call.
Big play by Ronnie Francis. Pittsburgh Penguins really want to take the shot away from Vladimir Malakoff. He has gotten a cannon, and I think it worries Tom Barrasso. Nice job there by Ronnie Francis to do it.
Recchi sends it around Brisebois. Kasparaitis is out of the box. He tries to tie it up and hits it. A great save by Morasso on Recchi. And back comes Kasparaitis with Jagr. Jagr across the line. In front of his blocked. Another chance is off the side of the net. Brisebois moves it along the boards. Kasparaitis fell down, but the Montreal player did not have a stick.
That was a huge breakup of that, basically what was a 2-on-1. Brisebois cut that pass off. Malakoff was trying to make it a 2-on-2, but he had no stick. There's very little he could have done on that play.
Here is Slager now playing it ahead. Martin Straka. It is picked up by Jagr. This shot was partially blocked by Ulanov. And it's back out to center ice, and everybody back at full strength.
Everything's kind of out of control here right now, Dave, and I think the players are really trying to test the referee and say, how much exactly are you going to call? We've seen a couple of dives here, and Nick Magoo's looked the other way and said, I don't think so, guys. But he's already called about 3-4 penalties already in this game.
Manson plays it along the boards. Zalapsky moves it out of Koivu. Koivu for Brunet. Brunet, the game-1 hero in overtime. Now Zalapsky again goes back to the line. Shot by Rivet, tips it from Morasso down, but he keeps it out of there. Centering attempt is smothered at the side of the post by Tom Morasso, who has had to be extremely sharp here in the early going. But Recchi, looking for his first goal, is still looking. It is scoreless.
Darius Kasparaitis jumped out of the penalty box and ended up getting into an offensive situation. He jumped into the zone and broke Malakoff's stick in half. Look at Malakoff on the right side of the screen, skating back with no stick. So it's basically a 2-on-1. Even if Malakoff hadn't been able to get back, obviously, without the stick in his hand, he wouldn't have been able to do anything. A huge breakup on the play there of that pass by Patrice Brisebois.
Francis back behind his own net, plays it for Jagr. Jagr, Francis, and Barnes, the big line for Kevin Constantine. It is Brunet, Bureau, and once again Zalapsky, the defensive player, with a chance, and the glove of Andy Mogi hangs on.
Well, Andy Moog only made it to the early stages of the second period in the last game. He allowed 5 goals on only 9 shots. That doesn't happen a whole lot to any goaltender in the NHL. Andy Moog's been around a long time. He'll be able to shrug that off. But of course, his teammates and the Pittsburgh Penguins will be looking to see if Andy can come up with some big saves early on in the game. If not, if he lets in a soft one, you know what Pittsburgh will be thinking? You know what the Montreal Canadiens players.
Face-off controlled by Francis. He rolled it in front. Moog able to steer it aside. Here is Brunet up the left wing. Dumping it across the Pittsburgh zone. Bureau was checked there by Olofsson. Held in by Zalapsky. He's out there against Jagr again. Here is Bureau now, trying to center. Brunet picks it up deep in the Pittsburgh zone. He's played to the boards by Slager, who tried to clear. Malakoff held it in and drive is wide of the net. And it comes down to Stu Barnes. Hands it off for Frederick Olofsson. Olofsson will dump it into the Canadian zone. Zalapsky played it off the boards. Malakoff able to clear. It comes down to Benoit Brunet. Fakes the shot. Carries across the Pittsburgh line. Taken to the boards by Marenka. And Kasparaitis now from behind his own net will start the attack for the Penguins. Circles back.
Excuse me, Dave. Pittsburgh's going to try and shake up Benoit Brunet a little bit, I think. There was word that he had a bad arm. He got slashed or stuck with a stick. But he is in the lineup, and I think they're going to run at him and see how bad that arm is.
Milanoff bumping there with Pronger. Now Rivet back in the lineup for the Canadiens with the injuries that we'll get to momentarily for the Montreal Canadiens. Here's Ruzhinsky peeling back just inside the Pittsburgh line. Goes to Damphousse in the corner. He is played by Rob Brown. Now Kasparaitis is chased by Ruzhinsky, who plays him aggressively. There's Stevenson centering attempt, and a penalty coming here as the puck is covered up by Barrasso. We'll get to the penalty in a moment, but right now let's go back to the studio with Bill Pito. Bill?
All right, Dave. Eric Lindros took an early penalty. Buffalo on the power play, and watch this. Jason Woolley will get credit as the puck slides under Sean Burke. 1-0 Buffalo trying to close out the Flyers in the first period.
Boy, Bill, just what the Philadelphia Flyers didn't need is a goal trickling past Sean Burke.
Oh, man, yeah, that puts just a tiny bit of pressure on the Flyers there on their home. Vinny Damphousse, his second penalty already in this game. Frustration level setting in for him. And Vinny, I'm sorry, but that one wasn't smart either. He complained about the first one. He yanked Kasparaitis down from behind. Mick Magoo's got a pretty good eye on things right here. And that takes away any kind of flow that Vinny Damphousse and his line mates can try and get early in this game. And for Mr. Vigneault, he won't like that either because they rely on speed and flow for their game to get going.
Montreal Canadiens without Brian Savage and Stepan Kitchal, who did not even make the trip. As you look at what the Penguins have done on their power play, which only lasted a few seconds. Sebastian Bordeleau is the other scratch along with Mick Vukota. And this puck up into the Canadiens bench and out of play.
We talked about hitting in this game and how it was going to be key because both teams have really hit each other in the last couple of games. But for Tom Barrasso, where a lot of the key hitting went on in Game 4 and they won, was behind Barrasso, in behind his net. Shane Corson and a couple of other guys, but particularly Corson, were giving Tom Barrasso fits through most of the series, getting in behind him, using that net, skating through the crease. In Game 4, Pittsburgh Penguins did something about it. They started pounding the Montreal Canadiens, and Montreal did not have nearly as much success.
Recchi won the faceoff. Back goes Manson now to kill some time off the Damphousse penalty. He'll drive it down the ice behind Barrasso. Settles it down there, and Olsen comes away with it. Olsen and Hatcher on the points on this power play. The big line up front. Yager hands it off for Francis. Barnes goes to the front of the net. Oh, and Francis nearly got the backhand pass through. It comes back to the right point. Olsen could not handle it. Here's Hatcher now. His fourth power play goal in the Game 4 victory. Here is Yager. Makes the move. Hanson trying to tie him up. Barnes cruising in. Hatcher could not get to him. And James Wilson able to fight off Hatcher to control the puck. Moves it up the far side now for Bureau, but Olsen got a stick on it. Picked up low by Manson, and he'll drive it right back to center ice. Manson with an effective penalty killing move.
Montreal on their penalty kill can shade towards Hatcher when Hatcher and Olsen are out there because they're both right-handed shots. So the big one-timer when the pass comes along the blue line can only happen from Hatcher, not from Olsen.
Liger dumps it back behind Moe, directing traffic. Bureau slaps at it and drives it out. The receiver winding down for a minute remaining. And the Montreal penalty to Damphousse. We played just over 8 minutes here. We had a 2-minute advantage. It lasted only 3 seconds. And here, turnover by the Penguins, but the Canadiens took control. Lead pass looking for Lund, but that didn't get through. And back the other way to Ruzhinsky. Holds up on Marenka. Ruzhinsky now snaps it toward Barrasso. Steers to the side. Here's Koivu. Looking to the board behind Slager. Voracek comes up with a little punt. Hands it down to Rob Brown. Brown hooks up ice. It deflects over the stick of Olchuk. Popovich is back there to lean on it. Rob Brown able to hold it in. He is hit hard, and Ruzhinsky comes back the other way. The Canadiens back in full strength. Koivu could not make the move around Hatcher. This team making changes. A couple of Penguins collide near the bench. Back comes Damphousse. Makes a move to the outside. Tries to put it in front of us. Deflected. And put it aside by Pronger. Morozov able to clear the zone. Canadians lift it right back in. And that play was whistled offside. 11:01 remaining here in the first. No score. Game 5 takes the Canadians.
Well, the Pittsburgh Penguins finished off their power play and then lost all their momentum completely. A couple of players collided, tried to go to the bench. Montreal Canadiens come down with a little bit of a chance. They drive it wide and get a shot on net. But for the Penguins, who were so good in the last game on the power play, in fact, probably one of the finest performances in franchise history when it comes to special teams, they got absolutely nothing accomplished on that last power play.
Ian Moran is out there, along with Tyler Wright. Eddie Olchuk, this line does not get a whole lot of ice time, but they try to be as effective as possible in changing the momentum. Patrick Poulin out there now with Thornton and Hoagland, likewise the fourth line for Lane Bicho. Moreta sends it ahead now. Tyler Wright looking for Moran, but it's intercepted by Yulanov. Patrick Poulin with a big hit from the Canadians into the clear. Poulin goes over, returns the favor in front of the Montreal bench with a hit on Moran, and back come the Canadians now as Yulanov plays in center ice. Pulaski waiting there. He'll play it back into his own zone. As we hit the halfway mark of period 1, game 5. The series had it 2, and the fifth game was scoreless. They'll play in Montreal on Sunday night. A little hammer for you here on the Deuce. Here comes Bureau. Slips to the front before he gets the shot away. And it's backhanded center ice by Slager. Slager blocks it again in the neutral zone. Now plays it ahead, Francis. Chips it into the Canadian zone. Here's Malakoff with it. And backhands it through center ice.
Both teams came out with a mindset that they wanted to establish the hitting game, but I think the penalties early on have sort of had them backed off. We haven't seen them running at each other over the last couple of minutes.
Marenko back to control now for the Penguins. Waiting for the line change to complete. Marenko now on a rush. Put it into the Montreal zone. Tried to get there. Pulaski took him down. Crowd reacting to that. No indication of any call. Malakoff now for the Canadians from deep in their own zone. Picked up by Koivu. Koivu makes a nifty move there on Yager. Snaps it across for Recchi with the pass behind him. It is hoisted out by Marenko. Malakoff now to Recchi. It is picked up by Corson. Quickly back to Recchi up the right side. Bounces off a Castroid in check. Moves it to Koivu. Back to Recchi. Some nifty passing going on in the Pittsburgh zone. And the Canadians unable to get a shot on goal as a result of it yet. And now the puck underneath a falling Montreal player behind Barrasso. They give us a whistle here with 8.5 left in the first period. ESPN 2 Stanley Cup playoff coverage. Brian, aside from the hand situation, which is the most important for Koivu, he hasn't played game situations, and conditioning will certainly be a factor for him.
Oh, absolutely. I think we're going to see him spotted into the lineup, in and out, especially as the game goes on. They'll keep a good eye on. He's a terrific athlete, though. He's always in tremendous shape. I think he'll be able to take a pretty good workload. Usually what happens, Dave, you're so full of adrenaline the first game. The first game is not a problem. It's the second or third game. That's when it starts to add up.
Marenko now trying to dig it out of there along the boards. Koivu got a stick on it. Now Marenko's going to try to get a whistle here, but it's picked up by Recchi. Recchi darts behind Barrasso. Wrapper on a stop by Barrasso, and he holds it long enough. As Koivu and Hicks were exchanging sticks.
And I don't think Saku Koivu wants to be pushing too much with that left hand either. If he's going to push with the right hand.
That series.
One of the many reasons they have Saku Koivu in the lineup is because he plays much bigger than he really is. He'll stick his nose in anywhere. He's not afraid of anything or anybody. He's in there pushing and whacking. There he goes. Oh, a little whack as well.
Koivu, a career high 43 assists and 57 points this year as he played in 69 of the 82 regular season games.
The guy who is going to benefit the most, I think, is Mark Recchi. Yeah. Recchi has struggled. He hasn't been able to score a goal yet. He's got the point, but he and Koivu have terrific chemistry.
Pass in front of Barrasso, knocked away by Francis. And Popovich will hustle over now for the Canadians. He lost it though to Yager. Yager takes a look, makes a move. Popovich is with a Francis pulling in front, and Andy Moe steers it aside. Back the other way, Pulaski now. Carries into the Pittsburgh zone. Trying to move it on Olsen. Olsen sends him to the boards. Passes back there. Brunet for the Canadians. And Magoo blowing the whistle to stop play.
Montreal Canadiens had real difficulty getting into the slot area in the Pittsburgh zone in the last game. They got very few shots on Tom Barrasso from the prime scoring area that we refer to as the slot. In this game here, it won't necessarily matter. We have it highlighted. That's what we call the slot area. That's where you get the great percentage goals. But Montreal won't mind if they can get some shots from off to the sides in the face-off circle area either. One of the reasons is that Tom Barrasso is sort of an old-style goaltender from the aspect that he really likes to come out and challenge. He'll get out above the blue paint area. So if he gets out on the top, on a point shot rather, he'll get out to the top as they pass it down low to the side into the face-off circles. He's got to cover a couple of feet to the side, and Montreal's already scored a couple of goals in this series because of that.
Now back here to Morozov from third and center right. We've been told Darius Kasparaitis has gone to the Pittsburgh dressing room, and I can see the Pittsburgh equipment manager Steve Lattin is still on the bench, so we're not sure that it is equipment or perhaps something more curious for Darius Kasparaitis. A centering pass here, expanding on it, was Conker who had the chance. And it's cleared by the Canadian center right. Brzezinski left it there. Tanner Stephenson's shot bounces wide and Barrasso sticks it to the corner. Pronger plays it around. Tamer, the defenseman for Pittsburgh, has lost his stick as it shattered in half. Centering attempt off the shin pad of Tamer. And the Penguins able to clear it.
Pittsburgh did a good job there. Whenever a defenseman breaks his stick, we either have to get him his stick or get down deep and help him out, get the puck out of the zone. Pittsburgh did the latter.
Back the other way now. Hicks going wide. Snaps the shot. Local save, and he cradles it. And gets the whistle, and the Pittsburgh Penguins, as we mentioned right now, without Darius Kasparaitis. But look at that. They are 5-0 on home ice after winning game 4 of a playoff series, which they did in this series up in Montreal.
That's pretty impressive history on their side.
And for the Montreal Canadiens, 46-28 all time in game 5. So you would expect with the terrific history, the 24 Stanley Cups, that the Montreal Canadiens are going to have a pretty darn good record in every playoff game, broken down game 1 through 7. What a terrific tradition in history. Perhaps the greatest in all of sports as the face-off here is controlled. Rob Brown got over for good. He paid a price.
He got a test really locked into the basket.
You're watching the action on the players to continue to move the puck. Now Brown. Move it to Hicks, who will jump to the ice. Wawrinka moved in from the point. They continue to scrum. The puck comes free. Hicks to the center. That's a transfer. Lying in a great stop there by Andy Bogue. Bogue has thought about going to play that puck, and boy, did he make a good decision to get back. He got himself square to Robert Lang. Otherwise, he probably had no chance.
You have to give that forward line for Pittsburgh a lot of credit. They were taking a lot of pounding along the boards before they finally turned that one over, got it down low and right out in front of the net, and Andy Bogue makes that save.
Becky was hooked on the shoulders and tried to deliver with shot. Now Stu Barnes. Jagr coming late with some speed. Now goes toward the net. The pass in front, and fanning on for Jagr. He picks it up on the board. Jagr wheeling between the circles. There's Malakoff, knocked it away.
Terrific reach there by Vladimir Malakoff. He's a big, rangy guy with terrific speed, and he is able to play one-on-one against Jaromir Jagr like few other guys.
Montreal Canadiens, the scouting staff was talking about Vladimir Malakoff. They were mentioning that Jagr will give any defenseman in the National Hockey League Brian Fitz, even Norris Trophy candidates like Lidstrom and Pronger and St. Louis and Rob Blake. They feel that Malakoff has the combination of size, reach you just talked about, and skating ability to perhaps deal with Jagr as well as anybody can.
And he had a terrific, early part of the season in particular. Here's the last play. Malakoff staying with Jagr, although he lost him at the last second there. He was fortunate Jagr never got a stick on that. But for Malakoff, in the first 20 games of this season, he had 18 points, and really through his first 30 games of the season before he got an injury and missed 4 games. They were talking Norris Trophy already. He was up high in the standing, had a terrific job at both ends of the ice. And after he came back from the knee injury, he was just kind of mediocre for a while and never really seemed to get back to that level for a while.
No question, he keeps coming to the league that he's got the tools. Just a question of whether he had the toolbox.
he's going to do it night after night. Exactly, man. He has certainly got all the talent to go up against Jágr. And you're right. He just there's not many guys in the league who could do that.
Well, Alain Vigneault, the rookie head coach, behind the bench for the Montreal Canadiens, certainly pleased to see that Saku Koivu was back in the lineup. As we were talking to him right before the game, he said, you know, we're still not absolutely positive. He's going to test it. They didn't even let him take any slap shots this morning. As you pointed out, Brian, that very first shot, Koivu leaned on it.
Oh, yeah, and I think that his teammates were even surprised because when he came back to the bench, he got a couple of pats on the rear end just for taking the slap shot. So he has tested that hand. I've been watching him when he's out on the ice. I have not seen him savor it at all. You can bet it's covered up and probably has some sort of portable casting on it in case somebody gives him a whack, and I'm sure there'll be at least a couple of whacks in that left hand that will be good for his guys.
Remember early in the series, Brian, the Pittsburgh Penguins were really dominating the faceoff. And once again, we see Francis a couple of times, especially in the defensive zone, winning cleanly.
Yeah, well, that's certainly one area where Koivu is not going to be able to help him. I don't think he's going to take him.
Jágr fired it wide to the top corner. Bart puts it back in, redirected by Jágr. What a splendid display of hand-eye coordination by one of the great Jaromir Jágr, but Andy Moog was equal to the task.
Last play by Jaromir Jágr. Puck comes from the point, out of the air, redirects it right on Andy Moog. He said the other day, he said, I'm not quite myself. I'm not sure exactly what's wrong. Jágr doesn't feel he's playing up to his total potential, but he's got 8 points in 4 games. Not bad.
Icing will be the call here. It's one thing for guys standing in front of the net. I'm always amazed, Brian, at the hand-eye coordination and the puck moving as fast as it is. But on that play, Jágr was moving. He's actually skating towards the guy shooting the puck, away from the net, and still redirects it directly on goal.
Well, it's great instincts and skills, and he knows where the net is. He doesn't know if he can get it on net. He's just trying to get a piece of it, get it off in that direction. He was certainly successful.
See what it looks like at real speed for Jaromir Jágr. Watch this.
Unbelievable. Right on that. Almost got him on the short side.
Face off deep of the Canadian zone. Francis leans in for Montreal against Bureau for the Canadiens. Francis has done a good job on the draws here in the early going, and he wins this one cleanly back to Olausson. Olausson drives the shot. It went in wide of Moog. And cleared by Brunet to center ice.
And Andy Moog has answered a lot of questions for his teammates, too. He's made a couple of really strong saves in this first period. I don't think there's any worries by his teammates now.
Dombu sends it across Zalewski with a chance, and he fired it wide. Oh, Zalewski was in a great scoring position. That time it was the player out there in a defensive role against Jágr that slipped away from Jágr on the offensive end. Morozov now, the rookie who had the overtime penalty shot in game 1. Made a great move, but he hit the post, and here's Morozov. Crisscrossing with Straka, lost control of the puck. It comes out near the line. Big hit on Pronger by Rozhinski. Back comes Domfus up the right side for Thornton. Top of the circle. Thornton with a drive, the save Barrasso, and he hangs on.
Charlie Zalewski on his last shift had a very good scoring chance. I don't think he was ready for it in some ways because he spent most of the series, of course, playing defense against Jaromir Jágr. He's been the third defenseman. But he will go to the net, get a terrific pass, and shoot it on net, or actually towards the net. Tried to catch Tom Barrasso sliding across just a hair wide on the far side. Another look at it from down low. And when your skills are not finely tuned offensively because your head is in another area, I think when you do get those chances all of a sudden, maybe not quite as sharp or it doesn't turn out the way you'd like them to.
Face off deep of the Pittsburgh zone. Domfus is tied up, and there's Hatcher getting to the loose puck. So again, even if the center doesn't win it cleanly, the other's jumping in there to get control for the Penguins as Straka was offside on the play, as indicated by Randy Mitten, the veteran linesman, working with Brad Lazarowicz here this evening, I should say.
The play at both blue lines has been interesting. Pittsburgh problems at times have been causing offsides by the Montreal defense standing up well and certainly getting good support. Montreal, when they're on the attack, sometimes falls into the problem of they get inside the zone, then they stop up and try to make a nice play into the middle of the ice. Those ones have not worked more often than they have worked, and it drives coaches nuts because turnovers from there, especially with guys like Francis and Jágr out there, are deadly.
Wawrinka just hammered the puck, or tried to, into the zone, and he hit Robert Lang right in the back of the leg, and Lang struggles to get back to the bench. And we'll keep an eye on number 20 in white as this puck is up into the seats and out of play.
Well, some of the feel of the game from early on, again, with regard to hitting, we expected both of these teams to come out pounding, and I think they each expected the other to come out pounding as well. But 4 early penalties have changed the tone in this game completely.
Yep.
Now both teams just seem to sort of be searching, finding a way to accomplish what they want to, get some flow going, and still try to stay out of the penalty box. And particularly Montreal have to be a little bit worried here because they know they got themselves in penalty trouble in the last game, and it cost them dearly. They don't want to do it again.
Robert Lang continues, Brian, to struggle on the bench as that puck, not sure where it hit him, but it looked like it was in the back of the leg somewhere.
Yeah. Well, if it's in the back of the knee, I mean, you can get numbness all the way down, and that's tremendous pain. But even if it's in the calf, man, it just causes a huge knot there. And he's up there probably trying to stretch it out.
Just over 3 minutes left here in the first period, and that puck deflected over the glass and out of play.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's attendance, 17,000.
Both teams would like somebody to just grab the puck and go. The big line, Barnes, Francis, and Yager out there, they're certainly capable of that. Well, it looks like we're going to get a line change now.
Well, you mentioned the 4 penalties very early. We had 4 penalties in the first 6 minutes of this hockey game from Mick Magoo that kind of settled the players down. And so let's remind you again of our Sports Zone poll. Do you like the continued strict enforcement of the rules in the playoffs? It's something we've seen constantly during the regular season. There seems to be a drop-off at playoff time. We haven't seen that drop-off. Do you like that? Go to the NHL page at ESPN.com and cast your vote. Very interested to see what you think on this one. Scoring is up, as you might expect.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. Last year in the first round, there were 13 shutouts. This year, there are only 2 so far.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And this in a year, a regular season, when there was a record number of shutouts, something like 160. Shot from the point, kicked out by Barrasso. And Rob Brown starts it the other way. Hicks, though, was quickly stopped by Ulanov. Greg Rebet for the Canadiens banks it off the boards. Wawrinka recovers here. And what have we got? An immediate offside call as that puck came into the Montreal zone.
Well, Mark Recchi will be a happy man to have his center iceman Saku Koivu back with him. Koivu and Recchi just have great chemistry. They play off each other so well. Neither one of them is very big, but they certainly will stick their nose in at any time. They give and go terrifically, and that's probably the best part of Mark Recchi's game from the blue line in the offensive zone. He knows how to get open. You get him the puck, and goodness knows he knows how to finish it off. And with Saku Koivu's ability to handle the puck and change speeds, that allows Recchi time and space to get open. That's one of the reasons why they work so well together.
Recchi, no points in the first 2 games of this series. 3 assists in Montreal, but as you mentioned, Brian, still looking for his first goal of this series. And probably a better chance of that happening with number 11 back in the lineup. And now Malakoff, number 38 for the Canadiens, was shaking his left hand as he may have taken a slash. Here is Yager playing it ahead for Francis. Yager goes back to the corner along with Francis. Golapsky and Malakoff trying to keep him to the outside. Puck comes free for a moment. It's picked up by Barnes and a glove save by Moog. Oh, that puck came off the boards quickly, and Moog with a great stop. The Deuce and ABC Sports.
Well, Stu Barnes had a terrific scoring chance on that last play. The play had really slowed down, but then a quick developing one. You see Barnes 14 white there in the middle of your screen. A quick one. He snaps it off. That one was labeled for the top shelf. Great save by Andy Moog, and it's the stick that Barnes used is kind of laid back, and he can just scoop that puck and get it up very quickly like he did in that last shot.
Hamer shot stop, rebound. Yager is stopped, and it's put back behind Andy Moog. Olchuk is battling there. Olchuk, Straka, and Yager. An interesting combination out there now for Kevin Constantine, and good pressure here is Straka. He puts on the brakes, gets it to the forehand, winds up, drives the shot. Save made by Moog, and the puck cleared to the corner. Olchuk has it there. Yager is checked on the play. Canadians fail to clear it out of there. Dom Foose goes down on top of the puck. Straka, Yager trying to dig it out of there. Dom Foose forced to move it. Here is Yager with it again. Yager puts it to the side of the net. Moog the save. It bounces into the crease, and he has it covered.
What a smart shot by Jaromir Yager from well out, short side, trying to surprise Andy Moog. And Andy Moog had his hands full. So did the Montreal Canadiens, because they really got running around. Marty Straka did some terrific work just hanging on to the puck. And the Montreal defense got sort of crossed out. Here's Straka. He'll stop and start, turn around. He'll get lucky here because one of the players falls down. I believe that's Malakoff. A good block there, but look, 2 white jerseys in behind the 2 defensemen. The puck did not get out to them, though.
We're a minute 13 away from our first intermission. That gives us a chance to remind you the new Dodge Intermission Report will feature ESPN News Network. Do or die for the Flyers and the Bruins on the brink as well. Flyers playing at home, Bruins on the road, and both those series could end tonight in the East. This one definitely will not. It will continue with a Game 6 on Sunday that we'll have for you on the Deuce. Coming right through the hole in the glass that our cameraman shoots through is Olesen is stopped there by Moog. Controlled by the Penguins. Hicks tries to dump it in front. Wawrinka has started to move in from the left point. It is chopped in front of the Montreal net, taken over by Corson. Out to center ice, off a skate. Brown sends it back. Hicks breaking it on Moog. Gets the shot away. The save by Moog. Well, the Penguins definitely have taken over the last 4 or 5 minutes of this period, Brian, getting the best of the scoring chances.
Absolutely. They've held on to the puck. And that last chance, though, started from a big hit along the board. So many scoring chances start with hits.
Here is Recchi chasing after a loose puck. Wawrinka got there first for the Penguins. Now Lang. Good to see him back after taking that puck in the leg. And now Olesen will lift it back into the Montreal zone.
The Montreal has to do something about turning this momentum around. It's only the late stages here of the first period, but they'd like to get off the ice here for that first intermission with a little bit of momentum of their own.
Brisebois in front of his own bench. That deflects in on Barrasso. He'll have plenty of time to steer it off there for Hatcher. Hatcher gets it back from Slager. Slager once again lays it off the boards into the Montreal zone. Popovich lifting it back in, and Brunet was offside as the horn sounds to end the first period.
Well, right at the late stages there, Pittsburgh ends up getting a terrific scoring chance, and Alex Hicks, it starts with the hit. He turns around, and the puck comes right back to him. Hicks is able to jump in from the blue line and get a really good shot on Andy Moog, but no goal.
Andy Moog had to be strong against this Pittsburgh club in the closing minute. Stay with us here in our first intermission. ESPN News is next. For the faceoffs again, Brian, Pittsburgh dominating.
And they've dominated through most of the series, but there was one game, I believe it was Game 3, where Montreal came back and did a real strong job in that area, but for the most part, Pittsburgh has shown numbers like that. And the last shift on the fly, Zalapski with the shot. Looks like Tommy Barrasso got a little piece of that and steered it off into the corner.
Another face-off win in the neutral zone by the Canadiens. That puck up on the glass. Barrasso couldn't get a stick on it. Here's Brunet. Tips it to the corner. Each team has won a game on the other's home ice in this series. We mentioned it early on that the Montreal Canadiens, second best winning percentage on the road in the National Hockey League during the regular season, second only to the Dallas Stars. And this is going to be icing against Montreal on the touch-up by Slager.
Well, Kevin Constantine resisted any urge to change his lineup before Game 4, and the way it turned out, obviously he should be applauded for that. He got his troops revved up. They came out and pounded Montreal around and had a real resounding victory. He hasn't made any changes here again tonight for this game, and his club is playing very strong, except that right now I think both teams are really trying to find their own rhythm because there just haven't been any chance to get any flow going.
Well, of course, the first goal of the game he feels is more important than home ice advantage. And on top of that, he told us this morning that he doesn't feel his club has played great with the lead. And they've had the first goal in 3 of the 4 games and won 2 of them. He feels they can do a much better job when they get the lead and, of course, if they get the lead.
Yeah, the first goal in this game is going to be really important.
Here is Koivu now. He'll drop it off for Manson, who drives it right into the glove of Barrasso. He hangs onto it there.
Every time they get a chance to get a whack in on Saku Koivu, they're going to try and slow him down. He's fresh because this is his first game in the playoffs, again because of that broken bone in the left hand. And I don't think we'll see him take off that left glove anytime soon because I'm sure there's a lot of padding underneath. He gets a little push there and slides into the boards.
No, Mark Recchi steps in to take this face-off. And again, we're not seeing Shane Corson take the draws either. In playoff time, it's very difficult to get answers on what's going on with certain guys with injuries and whatnot. Here is Manson to the net with it. Barrasso was well out to stop it. Here's Koivu with a chance, and it was checked by Wawrinka on the play. Here is Koivu again, hands it off for Recchi. Recchi to the face-off circle, gets himself free side of the net. A chance here for Corson. He centers. It's knocked away but not out. And a chance by Corson is stopped by Barrasso. Let's go back once again to our studios and Bill Pito. Bill?
A couple of big goals in that series, but in this one there was almost a goal scored. And again, Tommy Barrasso well out of the net. He will challenge and get out above the blue paint, as you see there. It almost cost him as the sequence went on too. Recchi down low, and there's the plays that we're talking about. That was deliberately set up. There was nobody in front. They were hoping Barrasso would come out and challenge Recchi. Corson off to the side. They really want to get Tommy Barrasso moving inside that crease.
Here's Morozov over the line, puts on the brakes, dumps it toward Moog. It is gloved down by Ulanov, the Canadian defenseman. And it's back out center ice. Saw the other action going on in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. Samsonov with a big goal for Boston to get them on the board, trying to fight off elimination and extend that series. Stevenson couldn't control for the Canadians. Tamer hands it off. Still no word on Darius Kasparaitis, who went out in the first period down to the Pittsburgh dressing room and did not come out for the warm-up skate prior to period number 2. So we're still awaiting word on what has happened to Darius Kasparaitis, and what a huge loss that would be for Pittsburgh if he's out for any extended period of time.
Oh yeah, he does so many good things for them, and he and Wawrinka work so well together, and that's the one pairing that's really been together almost since day one. And Constantine likes to keep his defense pairings together.
Olesen now for the Penguins. Being pressured by Brunet. Brunet nearly forced the turnover. Now Hatcher with it. Tried to sweep it across. That hit a skate. And it comes to Barnes. Canadians doing a good job with this Pittsburgh big line on the ice. Penguins are being forced to spend a lot of time in their own zone. Now Francis checked by Brunet. Puck rolled in front of Mo. Canadians are there to clear it aside, and Brunet hands it off now for Popovich. Little backhand pass. Olafsky couldn't control. Yager plays it back for Francis. Yager picks it up trailing. Yager makes the move on Malakoff, who poked it away. Centering it to loose in front. Moog goes down, made a save on Francis. Boy, Yager was well covered, but still made the play. Yager plays it off the glass. Here is Barnes, and he is checked into the boards, and Brunet able to clear it all the way down the ice. And the easy touch up by Slager. Both goaltenders have been perfect so far here in Game 5.
Jaromir Jagr had a lot of assists this year because so much of the focus is on him, and rightfully so. A nice move around Malakoff. Malakoff stayed with him, but Jagr just stayed with the puck, got it off the side of the net in front, and Francis coming in with a great timing pattern. Andy Moog had to make a big save.
Andy Moog has stopped all 15 shots he has faced, and he focuses in on this faceoff that is controlled by the Canadians. Done a better job here in the second period early going. Corson now. And Saku Koivu over the line. Plays it ahead for Recchi cutting in. Recchi tried to one-hand it to the front of the net. Taken by Corson. Now to Koivu. Koivu looking out in front. The pass was blocked. And Slager reversing his field. Trying to find an open teammate. Pronger plays it ahead now, and Hicks is pinned up against the boards as they battle at center ice.
Pittsburgh's had trouble coming out of their end. Montreal slipped into a 1-2-2 several times here. Only one man in on trying to push the flow in one direction or the other, and the Pittsburgh player with the puck, whichever defenseman it might be on any given shift, is really having trouble making that first pass coming out of their zone.
Here is Hicks with it for the Penguins now center ice. Laying it into the Canadian zone, but it's Dave Manson there to control for Montreal across for Brisebois. Center ice for Damphousse. Damphousse had it chopped away by Morozov, but Damphousse gets it back on the attack now. Makes a couple of moves, goes wide on Wawrinka. It's knocked away. Here is Stevenson with it for Montreal. He was knocked down once, bounces back up. Stevenson hands it off, centering pass in the crease is covered by Barrasso. Well, no matter what happens in this game tonight, these two teams obviously will play a Game 6 at the Molson Center in Montreal. We'll have it for you here on the Deuce. Brian and I will be there at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Penguins and the Canadians, Game 6 of this series. And speaking of the Eastern Conference, Ottawa looking to close things out tomorrow night. Pittsburgh and Montreal playing Game 5 here. Buffalo and Washington also trying to close things out in their respective Eastern Conference playoff series. Both of those tonight as well.
The Jersey Devils staving off elimination last night with a good comeback victory. Have to go back into the Lions' den in Ottawa. Alain Vigneault would like to see his troops do well here tonight and take it back home. And Kevin Constantine, I don't think would be worried. Same as Vigneault. Both these teams have won in the other's building and actually done very well on the road. So they just go from one shift to the next, one game to the next. It doesn't matter which building they're in.
There is Ian Moran, who has taken the spot for now of Kasparaitis, who is still not on the bench. Brisebois plays it back behind the Pittsburgh goal. And a Montreal player hit in the face. I don't know if it was a stick or a puck, but right off the face-off. And that is Scott Thornton that is writhing in pain and down on the ice.
Yeah, that didn't look good. He was, he had both eyes closed from the looks of things. He was trying to skate toward the bench, and obviously a lot of pain. Whether it was a glove or a stick, it might be a glove right off the face-off. There's Thornton.
Butt end of the stick.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Accidentally from Tyler Wright. Just see that little bit of the butt end that was sticking out there. Oh, boy.
Must have caught him right on the side of the left eye. But he dropped his stick and his glove right away and tried to make his way back to the bench, but obviously had both eyes closed because he couldn't find his way and they had to stop the play. So we certainly hope he's all right and it didn't get right into his eye. Let's see if we can pick it up again. Right after the draw, he moves forward. Tyler Wright just started trying to pop him, looks with that left hand, but apparently the end of the stick, the butt end of the stick was sticking out a little bit, and those few inches popped Thornton right by the left eye. Oh, he's in obvious difficulty. So
now Scott Thornton has had injury problems late in the season and miraculously came back. They were talking about the Montreal, one of the Montreal team doctors is just being a magician, the way he got Vincent Damphousse back from a shoulder injury and Thornton as well. And hopefully they can do the same for the eye of Scott Thornton. And speaking of eyes, that eye of Kevin Hatcher looks pretty ugly, but he told us before the game it looks a lot worse than it is.
Yeah, you see, get a couple of stitches there right by the right eye, and it just must have touched the eye itself because it broke a few blood vessels, and you can see that's what all the redness is in behind.
Older brother, of course, of Darian Hatcher, who's involved in a playoff war of his own with the Dallas Stars, going against San Jose. And Game 6 of that series tomorrow night on ESPN's National Hockey Night.
They'd like to play against each other in these playoffs, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
That would mean it would be the finals. They're in different conferences, and the only way it could happen is if they go to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, that would split that Hatcher household up, but boy, they'd love to have that opportunity, wouldn't they?
Yeah, no kidding.
Here is Brunet going up the left side, and Kevin Hatcher very aggressive there, taking a man to the boards, and the Canadian player is down.
That's Benoit Brunet. Brunet tried to go wide, but he had very little speed. Hatcher came over and just crushed him. There was nothing wrong with the check. It was a good, solid check. And from the looks of that left arm, the way Thornton is hanging, that could be a shoulder problem. But look at the left arm. Listing to the left, big time.
You know, Benoit Brunet, excuse me, Brian, didn't come in with the team. He came in today because of an arm problem, and it was Hatcher, I believe, that hit him in Game 4. And whether that's the same arm, again, they protect information so closely.
And now he's going to the bench. So now in 2 successive shifts, first Scott Thornton, and now Benoit Brunet headed to their bench. There goes Thornton. Excuse me, that's Brunet. And again, that left arm, that left shoulder, it looked like.
Well, Kevin Hatcher did sit down with us before the game, and he knows that the physical team has been the successful team, and he expected his team to be the same tonight.
What we've experienced is when our hits are up there, we've won. So, you know, and not only that, I think when we come out hitting, and especially in the first period, I think that really shows that we prepared ourselves and we were ready when the puck dropped. And I think in any game, the first 10 minutes is crucial for us, is to get out there and to establish a forechecking game and to get some hits to get us going. It seems like it's really paid off for us. So I think if you see us getting a lot of hits early in the game, you'll know we're ready.
Well, Kevin Hatcher appears to be ready here in the early going of the second period. And that hit has brought a little bit more life into the Civic Arena crowd. Here Slager moves it across. The man open. Hatcher drives the shot. Glove saved by Moog. The net was off the supports behind Moog. Anyway, I believe the whistle had actually blown before the save was made.
Yeah, even if that puck had gone in the net, it wouldn't have counted because Ronnie Francis had been pushed into the net by Peter Popovich. But here's the shot from the point. Kevin Hatcher. Any player will get himself into the game quicker by physical contact than anything else, and Hatcher just dished out a big check. Invariably, you seem to get scoring chances after those situations. He blasted that one, Andy Moog, with the big glove save. And Andy's been sharp here.
Yes,
and
he
you
has.
can't help but wonder that his teammates had to have been wondering, Andy, how are you feeling tonight? Because, again, he got yanked in the last game after giving up 5 goals and only 9 shots. And that was early in the second period. But a veteran that Andy Moog is, he has the ability to put those bad nights behind him. And even, you know, a lot of the players said it wasn't even his fault. He got hung out to dry.
Olison's drive was stopped by Moog. Again, a clean face-off win, that time by Pittsburgh. Now it is cleared by the Canadians, and it comes center ice for Koivu. Koivu darts into the Pittsburgh zone, tries to thread a pass through Recchi with a chance and a stop there by Barrasso. Good chance there for Mark Recchi. Morozov got it to the line but not out. Now it bounces near Recchi. He couldn't control. Morozov. Oh, look at Saku Koivu just throw himself at the Pittsburgh player. Koivu, as Ryan mentioned, not afraid to get involved physically, even though he's smaller in stature. Here is Koivu off the boards with it. Wheels, tries to hand it off for Corson. He is tied up on the play. Wawrinka now will slide it ahead to center ice. Brisebois controlling there now for Manson. And what do we got away from the play? A penalty, I believe, being indicated by Mick Magoo. And it's going to be a high sticking call against Wawrinka.
He's somewhat dumbfounded by the whole thing, but he has a few words for Mick Magoo as he goes to the bench. Take a look on the replay and see if we can catch the high stick. 5 white. Brad Wawrinka is the man who's going to get nailed. It'll be at the top of the screen. He gets the stick up. And there's the referee's hand going up. So Brad Wawrinka, 2 minutes for high sticking. And our Sports Zone question for you people tonight is, do you like the continued strict enforcement of the rules in the playoffs? We have seen a fair number of penalties this year. We have seen a tremendous number of 5-on-3s, more than I've ever seen. We've referred to that several times. Do you like that? Do you think everything should be called in the postseason?
And so Wawrinka sitting in the penalty box, and Montreal will have their 3rd power play opportunity. Remember, it looked like that Andy Moog and company was going to have a minute and 19 seconds of a 5-on-3. That lasted all of 3 seconds when a subsequent penalty was called against Downfus on the faceoff. Brisebois from behind his own net. Canadians with the man advantage. Now it is slapped away and cleared by the Penguins all the way back behind Andy Moog. Malakoff will start it up again. Malakoff and Brisebois on the point for Alain Vigneault, with Brzezinski up front with Hoagland and Downfus. Barrasso will play it around the glass. Hustling over, Brisebois to hold it into the corner. Canadians can't control. Tamer leans on it and gets it by Hoagland down the ice.
Brisebois made a nice play to come all the way across to the other side and keep that one in, but still it all turned out to be in vain. Montreal unable to get into the zone under control here yet on this power play.
Here's Brzezinski, who started the scoring in this series with a power play goal in game 1. Barrasso around the glass, knocking it down. Brisebois for Downfus. Downfus being roughed up by Hatcher. Hatcher clears it along the board. Brisebois there. Now Hatcher moves it along. Malakoff held it in. It's intercepted by Olchuk, and he slides it all the way down the ice.
On the rush, Montreal is having difficulty getting it in under control because they come up with speed, then they seem to slow down at the Pittsburgh line. It should be just the other way around. They have to be accelerating there.
Here is Recchi. Hands it off for Koivu. Koivu sends it back to Recchi. Koivu at the hash marks, takes a look, walks toward the net. Recchi tried to slide it in front, deflected away by Hatcher. Recchi again, cross ice, left point, sent to the front of the net. Koivu couldn't get the stick on it. Back to the line, Brisebois to Recchi, top of the circle, sends it to the corner. Koivu back out in front, and it missed everybody there.
Recchi down low, wanted to go for the bumper pool shot to the front of the net with Shane Corson with a stick down on the ice, but it was a good clear by Pittsburgh defense.
Koivu again hands it off in the corner. Gets it back from Corson. Recchi at the far side of the net. Pass deflected by Olison, but Corson collects it. Out of the box comes Wawrinka. Koivu winds up, slides it deep. Corson trying to go cross ice. Here is Hatcher around the boards, and Jágr's got some speed. He's got Wawrinka with him. Jágr waits, looks, fakes, and it rolls off his stick. He never did get a shot or a pass away. And the Canadiens may have dodged a bullet there. Here is Corson. It is knocked away from him, and here come the Penguins again. Could be a 3-on-2. Francis crisscrossing. Good poke check there by Popovich, using that long reach of his.
That was a smart play by Popovich. Ronnie Francis was trying to stall for time there and just get in over the blue line. He was watching his own players, not watching Popovich, just trying to feel the situation. Popovich reached out and knocked the puck off his stick.
Here is Jágr. Quick touch pass for Francis. He'll drop it back to Olofsson. Olofsson for Jágr. That was behind him. And Popovich now being pressured by Robert Lang, and the Canadiens will come out with it. Patrick Poulin. He was run into by Martin Straka. Rozov got a stick on it, but Zalapsky controlling for the Canadiens dumps it in. We're coming up on the halfway mark of the second period. Still no scoring in game 5. Stevenson went a long ways to deliver that hit. And the Penguins look to break out 3-on-2 again, with the Canadiens getting back to make it an even situation. Straka backhands it toward Moog. He steers it aside. Here's Morozov with it. Morozov trying to duck under a check, taken down by Manson aggressively. And Morozov shaken up on the play. It's going to continue. And now we get a whistle from Magoo. Morozov is down. He's telling the Penguins to get away from him because there's no penalty coming, and we'll come back to get the report on Alexei Morozov. Players dropping left and right here in game 5. Thanks very much, Bill. A great passing there by the Bruins as Morozov looking for the smelling salts maybe to get himself revived.
Yeah, here's the hit. He's going to take it right along the boards. There's Manson. Manson may have cuffed him on the side of the head with that forearm because we were unclear exactly what his problem was, but I still maintain, it was his head. And I think it was that sort of forearm shiver by Manson that dealt the blow. Well, the Boston Bruins coming up with a big effort. They have to, of course. A 2-goal lead gives them a little bit of cushion, which they haven't had in a couple of games.
Yeah, that's right. Well, again, in case you're joining us, Saku Koivu back in the lineup for the Montreal Canadiens, but we've had 3 players drop out in this game and no report as to whether they'll be back. Kasparaitis for the Penguins, Thornton and Brunet for the Canadiens. In front, Barrasso, rebound, score! Patrice Brisebois follows up to give the Canadiens a 1-0 lead.
Boy, how quickly the game can change. Looked like a harmless enough rush, but Brisebois jumping up on the play makes a terrific play. Nobody picked him up. Here's the attack on the right wing side. Plenty of Pittsburgh players back. Marty Straka floats into the play. Where's Brisebois? Whoops, he's over there. By the time he gets over, it's way too late. Danfus just stalling for time. The rebound off Barrasso, and Brisebois going in and cleaning it up. One of the things that Montreal had talked about before the game is they feel like Tommy Barrasso does give out some rebounds. That one was off his stick, but they've even mentioned the fact that they come off his pads pretty hot and out into the zone. So I think Patrice Brisebois was patrolling in there. He felt Straka leave him. He jumped in. What a timely goal that is.
Well, you saw that was Brisebois' first goal. It's his first point of the playoffs. And, Brian, he was red hot down the stretch. The last 10 games he played for Montreal in the regular season, he scored 6 goals.
He's had a terrific year for them. Patrice Brisebois has had a great year, and he was under pressure coming in this year because he had a couple of sort of off years, injury-filled, and he really rebounded well this year.
Dom Foose continues his scoring streak. He has at least a point in every game. He gets an assist along with Stevenson. Bureau was upended there by Schlager. That allows Barnes to get to the puck. Now Ron Francis circles back.
Well, there's that big first goal we were talking about. Both these teams love to have it. Now the momentum certainly in Montreal's favor. How you react after a goal, both for and against, is so important.
Well, the Canadiens have the first goal of the series for the second time. Now for Jágr and company, they have to figure out a way to come back.
In support of the work.
Defenseman Patrice Brisebois of the Montreal Canadiens. He wears number 43, 7th year in the National Hockey League, and he has the only goal of Game 5 of this Eastern Conference quarterfinals, and Montreal with the 1-0 lead. And the face-off deep in the Pittsburgh zone. Recchi wins it cleanly. Back to the line. Malakoff, that did not get through. And it comes to Hicks. Now Hicks hands it off Wawrinka. Had it poked away by Malakoff. That ends up at the bench out of play. Well, when you played a team 4 times in a series, Vincent Damphou says you're familiar with the tendencies of the other players, including the goaltender, Tom Barrasso.
Yeah, he challenged the shooter a lot. That's something that few goaltenders do that in the league, and we know that we need to be in front of him so he can't really come out as far as he wants, and we've been able to do that a few times. But he's still going to make the first save if he sees the puck. That's something we know. We need to be around for the rebounds, and like you said, try to make him move a little bit. We know he's very good to handle the puck and to shoot it around, so we got to keep him away from him on the dump-ins, and when we have a chance to shoot and get some rebounds on him.
Being around on the rebounds. That's what Patrice Brisebois was. He was just being around. Right in the slot, came out to him, and he whistled it by Barrasso, as you saw in that replay, before he could get that white glove up.
Wawrinka now trying to hold it in for the Penguins. Robert Lang reverses it now as they try to get some cycling going in the Montreal zone. Wawrinka shot wide of Andy Moog. Here comes Robert Lang with it. Hicks being watched by Popovich, who forces him to the boards. Now Rob Brown with it. It slides off a hit stick and it's cleared by Corson. That allows Recchi and Koivu. Now Corson coming up into the play. It's a 3-on-2. Corson a drive. Score! Shane Corson on the drop pass. Able to beat Barrasso. It's a 2-0 Montreal lead.
Shane Corson surprised them. I'm convinced of this. A quick snapshot right along the ice. Terrific shot selection by Shane Corson. A 3-on-2. He hesitated just for a second to make it look like he was thinking about a pass. And then bang, he just snaps the wrist and it goes in. But it's a 3-on-2 outnumbered attack. That's where it's the original shot starts. Here's Corson coming up late on the play. He'll get the drop pass. Watch him hesitate. Look over and bang. That one was redirected too. That changed direction at the last second, I believe, off the Pittsburgh defenseman. Here's a quick flick of the wrist. I don't think we get a good look at it there. And Tommy Barrasso's reaction to see if we can pick it up there. Tommy just unable to kick that left leg out quick enough.
Shane Corson, a key player at playoff time again. His 3rd of this series, 36th of his career. Recchi drew an assist at 12:02. And back the other way now comes Morozov. He's got Olchuk with him. Morozov with a drive, and that hit a skate on the way through. Back to the line. Tamer's shot tipped by Olchuk. Up over top of the net and just covered in the crease by Andy Moog as he juggled that rebound off the end boards.
I'm still not quite sure whether or not that puck was deflected and Tom Barrasso had a change on him at the very last second. It's very difficult to tell. But the key certainly on the goal was that Shane Corson comes down and hesitates. Here it is again. Watch Corson look to his left as if he's going to pass. Right there. So I think Barrasso is startled by the quickness of the shot. And here it comes, 5-hole. It's really difficult to tell. But the trajectory of the puck, the quick snap, right inside the far post, and it's 2-0 Montreal.
Yeah, it definitely went between the legs of the defenseman, Brian, and if nothing else.
So he never got a good clear look at it. Yep.
Well, the feeling in this building is much like Game 1.
Yep.
It's a very quiet building. There's not a lot of hitting going on again by the Penguins. Nothing like the formula that led to the victory in Game 4. Here's Bureau. He could get behind the defense, but the pass just out in front of him. Barrasso steers it to the corner. And Slager now coming back. It comes down to Barnes. Barnes tried to roll it toward the goal. Francis couldn't get a stick on it. And it's back the other way, though Patrick Poulin could not go very far with it. Here is Barnes. Drops it back. It comes now center ice for Francis. Ron Francis tries to hand it off to Stu Barnes. Francis follows up, drives the shot off the glove of Moog. Picked up by Wawrinka. Sends it in deep. Here is Barnes. Taken down by Popovich. Francis tries to roll it in front. Yager can't get free. Francis diving for it. And the Canadians break back 3-on-2. Malakoff into the zone. Had it knocked away. Malakoff now takes down Wawrinka. Ignored the puck, and I think it's going to be a penalty against Malakoff. A delayed call here, Brian.
Yeah, probably going to be interference. It might be tripping, but Malakoff was down low inside the zone. Got a little bit frustrated. Right now he's got a little smile and a bit of a laugh for Mick Magoo. Obviously not agreeing with the call, but he got caught down deep, and he started fencing a little bit with a couple of Pittsburgh players, specifically Brad Wawrinka, and it'll cost him 2 minutes. Power play for the Pittsburgh Penguins, obviously big. They're down 2-0. They need to get something going. Here's the penalty of Malakoff. Yeah, there's the call right there. Pretty obvious. Wawrinka hadn't touched the puck. Malakoff getting a little carried away. But Pittsburgh, interestingly, starting the second unit on the power play. I think this has to do with it being the second period. If they can get the puck down deep, wear out those penalty killers a little bit for Montreal, it's a long way to the bench.
Here's a steal, and Brown put it toward the net. Olchuk, I don't know if he got a piece of that, but Moog did. Back to the line, a shot and a save by Moog. That was driven hard from the left point by Yuri Slager. Slager rolls it off now to Rob Brown. Brown top of the circle. His shot deflects between the circles. Line couldn't get a stick on it. Slager has it again. Sends it now to Wawrinka. He's open. Drives the shot. That was blocked by Damphousse. Rob Brown was knocked to the ice. Line controlling now for the Penguins. Lang sends it across. Wawrinka has it now. Back it goes to Lang. Out to the line, and it missed Slager's stick.
Montreal doing a terrific job of getting in the shooting lanes. You could see how many pucks were blocked outright or deflected off to the side. There was nothing to shoot at for Pittsburgh.
Here's Brown, wanted to center for Francis, who just came off the bench. Damphousse plays it up the boards. It is held in. Wawrinka hangs on toward the net, deflected by Brown. Francis in front for Brown, steered aside. And the Canadians get to it, and Damphousse may look to go with it shorthanded here. Oh, did he take a hit from Wawrinka as he dumped it into the Pittsburgh zone.
Well, Pittsburgh with some good sustained time there. I was kind of surprised that maybe they wouldn't go for the quick change and get that fresh unit out there. But Montreal has been able to get some fresh guys out there. Again, this is the second period, a long ways from their bench on this penalty kill.
Here is Jagr. Jagr taking it deep. Big power play for Pittsburgh. They trail 2-0 on home ice here in Game 5. It goes to Jagr with the hash mark. It is picked up by Francis. He fans on the shot. Loose puck comes out to Recchi, and he gets it over the glove of Olesen.
Ronnie Francis a little unlucky there. The puck just started to roll and it stopped sliding. So it went into his feet a little bit. That, along with the fact that Zalapsky hooked him on the arm just at the last second. Good scoring chance goes to nothing.
Good play by Koivu to knock it away from Barnes down the ice. 4.5 left in the period and only a couple of seconds before Malakoff comes out. So an excellent job by the Canadian penalty killers. Martin Straka snaps it ahead for Jagr, and the play offside, and then Jagr bumped to the ice by Rivet. Penguins do not convert on the power play. It stays 2-0.
Torpedo back in the studio. The Caps have had a history of blowing 3-1 leads in playoff series. And Boston in this one handing it to the Caps. Rob DeMaio out of the mess in the corner. Beats away the goalie 3-0 Boston after 2.
All right, Bill, thanks very much. We are back, and so is Scott Thornton. That is good to see. It looks like he took a couple of stitches just under that left eye. Almost looks like they might actually be on the lower eyelid. So thank goodness there wasn't any more serious, Brian, than that.
Yeah, it looked like that was from the end of the stick. That was the injury where he was up against Tyler Wright right off the faceoff, and it looked like the butt end of the stick stuck out and got underneath the eye of Thornton, and he's all right now.
Here is Straka now waiting. Hands it off. And Tamer puts it behind Moog, who directs traffic to let the Canadian defense know where that puck was going to be. Ulanov plays it along the left wing side. Patrick Poulin is checked by Sean Pronger. Now Jonas Hoagland. Hoagland snaps the shot. Barrasso steers that aside. Thornton gets to it. Plays it along the boards. Pronger could not control. Here's Poulin. A centering attempt. Loose puck was there. Penguins cleared it. Now it comes to Ian Moran. Pronger helping out. It is slid across the zone there as Rozov took a hit on the far side.
Pittsburgh doesn't have much life right now. I don't know if it's the fans that are going to help them first. I kind of doubt it. Somebody's going to have to add some excitement to this game to get everybody into it.
Brzezinski with a good rush there, and a backhander was stopped by Barrasso. Back comes Robert Lang, but as much speed as the Canadians had offensively, they get back defensively quickly. Now come back on the rush again. Stevenson circles the net. Wrap around. That was stopped by Barrasso. Centering pass for Brzezinski. That was stopped. Brisebois with a backhander. Barrasso squeezes the pads together as the Canadians on the rush trying to take a commanding 3-0 lead, and that gives us a chance to go to our Coors Light storyline. Brisebois and Corson with the goals a minute 29 apart. The Penguins 5-0 at home when winning Game 4, but that's in danger of ending tonight, and Saku Koivu is back in the lineup.
And our Coors Light replay is the first goal of the hockey game. Patrice Brisebois following up to get a chance on the rebound. There's the rebound. There's Patrice Brisebois. Oh, man, and that was on the first bounce. Yeah. That landed at just the right time, and he just drilled it upstairs. And the last sequence of plays, after a turnover by Robert Lang in the neutral zone, gave Montreal a couple of free whacks. I'll tell you, that second line for Pittsburgh has struggled. Straka victimized by Brisebois. He was the one to let Brisebois go in that goal. And now Lang on that last shift ended up turning the puck over and giving Montreal those chances you just saw.
Malakoff's shot was deflected up into the seats behind Barrasso and out of play. We're down to 2:48 left here in the second period. So Vladimir Malakoff, who talked about early on, and we talked about him playing against a guy like Jaromir Jagr. Malakoff continues to get a ton of ice time for Alain Vigneault.
He's a big, strong guy. He can play rather all aspects of the game. He can kill penalties, power play. As you pointed out, you can play against Jaromir Jagr or the best in the business, and he's done really a terrific job in the series. Yes, Jagr does have 8 points coming into this game. That's going to happen, certainly, especially on power plays, but, you know, they had a meltdown on their special teams the other night. Overall, though, 5-on-5, Malakoff has played extremely strong.
Brisebois sends it across. Manson to center ice, and Corson will dump it into the Pittsburgh zone. Barrasso leaves it there, and the Penguins look to come out with it. Home ice advantage not meaning a whole lot tonight in Eastern Conference playoff action. Is that an icing? Yes. On the touch up there.
Well, Stu Barnes has probably had the best scoring chance of his line tonight. He snapped one top shelf in the first period.
Yep.
Big glove save by Andy Moog, but he's not had a lot of chances in this game, and obviously that's key for Montreal. They're 2-0 lead right now.
Bureau and Francis. Francis wins it cleanly. And it comes down to Barnes. Couldn't handle it. Backhanded by Malakoff. Recovered by Francis. Trying to find Jagr. Here is Jagr now deep in the Montreal zone. Pinned to the boards by Popovich. And back come the Canadians. Jagr coming back to make sure it's a 3-on-3. Thornton and Slager going to the boards together. The puck underneath Thornton. He's trying to keep it alive. So is Slager as he moves it now to Olesen. And the Penguins will bring it back the other way. Jagr hands it off now for Frederick Olesen. A one-timer here by Francis as well, wide of the net. Hatcher, good job to fake the shot on Thornton, who had gone down, but Thornton a good job to keep aware where the puck was and didn't let Hatcher get it by him. Here is Bureau now. He's got Zalewski coming on the play, who got a stick on it but couldn't control. Penguins bounce it out to center ice. Canadians send it back the other way. Koivu to Recchi. Recchi in the corner, spins away, lost an edge. Wawrinka starts it back. Even when there's a quick turnover, Brian, the Canadians are just always back. It doesn't look like Pittsburgh is going to have a chance at any kind of a scoring opportunity on the rush.
That's right. And Pittsburgh looking a little methodical right now, and I think you're right. When Montreal is forcing them into that, there's no energy. There's no extra pop to the Pittsburgh offense right now, and that's what they dearly need.
Comes down to Martin Straka. Straka trying to get some of that speed of his going. Hands it off. Morozov fans on the shot. Gets a second opportunity that was stopped by Moog. Here is Koivu with it. Plays it ahead for Shane Corson. He one-hands it back to the Pittsburgh line. Now Straka. He is checked at center ice. Corson pinned to the boards by Morozov. Stevenson snaps the shot. Barrasso held his ground on the short side, and back come the Penguins the other way. Here is Straka. Well, there's just not room in the neutral zone to carry the puck or to pass the puck for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And here is Danfus handing it off. Rosinski snaps it off the fly. Picks up his own rebound. Rosinski centering pass. Danfus couldn't get the shot away. Back comes Stu Barnes. Barnes will drive it all the way down the ice with just seconds remaining in the period, but this will be an icing. And that allows a face-off deep in the Pittsburgh zone with still 3.7 on the clock.
Well, that's not the way Stu Barnes wanted it to work out, rather. I mentioned that Stu Barnes didn't have very many scoring chances so far in this game. How important is it to shut down the big line? Well, in games 1 and 3, Pittsburgh lost. Look at the point totals. Not a whole lot. Then in games 2 and 4, in the games that they win, a lot different.
Yep.
So Montreal has succeeded again tonight so far through 2 periods almost. 3 seconds to go here in the second period. They have shut down the big line. Montreal's ahead 2-0.
What's interesting too, Brian, is that game 4, it wasn't just the big line. You know, they get a 6-3 win, but other guys chipped in. What they need is on a night when Francis and company can't get it going. That's when that second line has to come in and contribute, or the third line. Somebody on the blue line.
And I pointed out that the second line's really been struggling.
Yeah, they
Stockton
have.
kind of went
Yep.
to sleep on the first Montreal goal. Robert Lang just not in step. Morozov having difficulty getting going with the puck as well. So as it is right now, Pittsburgh is looking for somebody to come up with something offensively, and so far, not much luck.
Well, the Montreal Canadiens getting a goal from Patrice Brisebois and also one from Shane Corson. They lead it 2-0. ESPN News Network is coming.
Get the troops fired up. I'm sure they were addressing that in the second period intermission. They just have not shown a whole lot of life. And if it's a big line who can't get on track because they're being checked very closely by Alain Vigneault's boys, then somebody for Pittsburgh has got to jump up. Maybe a Kevin Hatcher hauling it from behind. That would work as well. But the neutral zone has been pretty clogged through that second period because Montreal's been playing with the lead and doing it well.
Third period is underway. And it is dumped in by Popovich. As it's picked up by Slager. Slager plays it back now around the boards in the Pittsburgh zone. Slager, under some pressure there, was bumped off the puck, but it's picked up by Olesen. Penguins down 2-0 against this Montreal team that plays so well on the road and plays well when they have the lead. It is slapped away by Zalapsky. Back into the Pittsburgh zone. Here is Barnes. He drops it off for Olesen, and the Penguins, Brian, just seem to be out of sync on every pass.
Yeah, that's true. It was like this in the second period. Montreal has frustrated them in the neutral zone.
Here's Malakoff trying to dig that loose puck out of there. He's successful at that, handing it off to Recchi. Recchi will give it to Koivu on the crisscross. Koivu trying to break free, and it's picked up by Recchi. Scores! Mark Recchi's first goal of this series, and it's a huge one to give Montreal a 3-0 lead.
Saku Koivu having an effect on this top line, I guess so. Shane Corson scores in the second period. This time it's Mark Recchi, and Koivu was in the vicinity, had the puck to start with. He triggers it as Recchi with his first goal in this series. A good drop pass and crisscrossing always will screw up the defense on the opposition. They had trouble tracking it, and Recchi gets gets faced towards the net exactly the right time, right on his stick. What a pass by Saku Koivu. Tamer had lost track of Recchi at the last second from a really bad angle. Mark Recchi cashes in for the third goal.
18th of his playoff career. Malakoff getting an assist along with Koivu. And how about the Montreal Canadiens? Remember, Pittsburgh was guilty in Game 2 of sitting on their lead and managed to escape. But I don't think the Montreal Canadiens are going to sit back here. They certainly don't give the indication in the early going, getting the goal that has made it 3-0.
No, they're in control of this game. They were throughout the second period, and starting off with a goal like this is deadly for Pittsburgh.
Glove saved by Barrasso on the shot by Ruzhinsky.
And kind of a similar scenario on that third goal to the first goal, actually. Tamer turned at exactly the wrong time, lost track of Mark Recchi. The pass came over from Koivu. Pinpoint, perfect, right on the tape. Tom Barrasso, very difficult for him to get back. Again, Tommy likes the challenge. He was out on the edge of the crease. He did dive back, but he never had a chance on it. Watch the crisscrossing, which will get the Pittsburgh defense second-guessing a little bit. On the right side of your screen, Recchi will come around, loop around. Now look at Tamer. He just turns the wrong way at the wrong time. And boy, he gets victimized big time. And you think he's breathing a big-time sigh of relief right now. He was their #1 scorer during the season. When you have that goose egg and it just keeps going and going, when you finally bust it, it feels great.
And it probably feels good to do it here in Pittsburgh, where, of course, he was traded after the first of the 2 Stanley Cup championships. Went to Philadelphia, then went to Montreal in that huge deal that sent John LeClair to the Flyers. Mark Recchi has been a productive player wherever he has played in his NHL career. And has had, of course, both individual and team success, obviously, with a Stanley Cup ring. Collision between Ulanov and Hicks. Ulanov, though, timed the bump perfectly so he could still play the puck. And now it's cleared. Out to center ice. Zalapsky has it there. He'll just bounce it in on Barrasso.
A big key for Pittsburgh, I think, if they're going to get anything going here, Dave, they're going to have to get the puck to Yager or somebody with speed early like this and give him a chance to zoom up the ice, because he hasn't had many chances in this game.
Well, he was met by 3 red jerseys, and the puck was easily knocked away. Back comes Thornton now, looking to go wide on Slager. Now Thornton rolls it toward Barrasso. He steers it to the far side. Jágr picks it up there, and Jaromir Jágr looking to hand it off to Francis, but it was picked up first by Barnes. He goes up the left side for Francis, and boy, just another example of the Penguins being out of sync. The pass and the skates, it's offside.
And for Jaromir Jágr, he always has to shoulder the load. He won the scoring championship again. Tremendous skills. It's tough for them to go to him every night. He's looked tired at times, frustrated at times. Here's the last play. This is the kind of stuff they're going to have to do. See, he has some room to work. The Montreal defense is backed up. He needs that room to get ahead of speed. Unfortunately for him and the Penguins that time, he went right into traffic in the middle. He seemed to want to steer away from Zalapski on purpose, but he needs a little crisscross action there to help him out. There were just 3 red jerseys back ready and a big catcher's mitt ready to handle him.
You saw the numbers of Jágr and how they've improved as that puck is up in the seats and out of play. Of course, a lot of those numbers for Jágr of late has been without Mario Lemieux.
Well, Jágr's going to need some help, and I think the first guy they go to is Kevin Hatcher. He's got some terrific skills. Big man. He can come up the ice and really bring it with speed. He's got a big shot, make plays. So I think in this situation, there's still 17 minutes to go. They're down by 3 goals. Hatcher's got to start grabbing the puck and going. I know they like to play a defensive system, and they'd like to do it, break it down maybe a little bit differently, but the way things have gone so far for Pittsburgh, I think they have to change their rhythm a little bit now, and Hatcher's a good guy to go to.
Canadians looking to come out with it. Here's Brzezinski. Far side for Damphousse. Good job by Stevenson to stay on side. Now Hatcher checks him. Brzezinski steps into Hatcher. Canadians keeping the pressure on. They have the lead, and now the puck comes off the supports behind Tom Barrasso. An early third period goal by Mark Recchi. The Canadians with a 3-0 lead. Saku Koivu is back in the lineup. Brian mentioned at the top of the show as much a chemistry move as anything else because he certainly is far from 100%. But very first shift, he took a hard slap shot to show his teammates that even if he was in pain, he was going to do whatever it took to be a part of this game 5. And of course, assisting on the goal here in the third period by Recchi. Saku Koivu has certainly been a boost for the Montreal Canadiens.
I think that, along with good key saves early on by Andy Moog, really set the tone for this Montreal team.
Pressure by the Penguins. It's flipped over the top of the net from behind. Rather nifty play that was attempted there and successfully so. I think that was Olchuk that flipped it over top of the net. Olchuk now in front, and the puck comes free, and it's back out to center ice.
Yeah, a little innovation there by Eddie Olchuk. Well, they need something like that, something to juice them up a little bit, because they just don't have that edge right now. And Pittsburgh needs to get an edge real quick.
Now Slager from out of his own zone. Lays it off the boards for Barnes. Both teams making changes now as Barnes hammers it along the glass. It's picked up by Jágr. Jágr tries to snap it toward Moog. It never got through. Jágr given a bump there by Bureau. Now it's toward the net, tipped by Barnes. Moog started to come out. Malakoff gets there. Vladimir Malakoff had more minutes played than any other Montreal Canadian through 2 periods. He's been out there as much against Jágr as Zalapski or anybody else.
Good execution there by Montreal on the boards, too. Malakoff just get it, lifted up the board. Scott Thornton stood in there, got it deflected it out into the neutral zone. That's the kind of good stuff you need when you're defending a 3-0 lead in the third period.
That puck will roll out to center ice. Penguins get to it. Slager. Now it's picked up by Barnes. Back to Slager on the right side. Barnes trying to get some speed going, but look at the Canadians just have him surrounded.
Yeah, it was a line change for one thing, but that's another thing that's been happening to Pittsburgh in this game. They're isolated. The puck carrier is isolated with nobody else to go to, and too many times the puck carrier for Pittsburgh is standing still. Everybody else stands still when you stand still with the puck.
There is Straka playing it back toward his own net. Barrasso got it to Morozov, who failed to deflect it out, but Hatcher will carry. Hands it off. Morozov now for Straka. Straka avoids Jelanov. Now here's Morozov in the corner. It's picked up by Langston. He scores! Straka set up in front. And the Penguins finally get on the board.
Well, Marty Straka helps redeem himself here. We pointed out the fact that he missed his check on the Brisebois goal. And this second line for Pittsburgh makes something out of nothing. Straka will go down low. Morozov will get it. Straka will just loop out. It'll go to Lang, 20 White. He'll tip it between his feet. Real nice move. Slick one by Robert Lang. Watch Lang 20. Get it, just touch it in between. All alone, Marty Straka. They're finally on the board, and you can feel a sigh of relief. Momentum. Is it going to come for the Pittsburgh Penguins now?
7th playoff goal of his career for Martin Straka. And there still is a lot of time on this clock for this Pittsburgh team.
And the crowd has reappeared now, too.
Yes, absolutely.
They've been out of it for pretty much over a period.
Now, you pointed out it was the second line as both Lang and Morozov assisted on the goal by Straka.
You can't rely on the big guys all the time. Somebody has to step up. You know the big guys are going to do whatever they can. A big break here. Marty Straka, nice play, good communication. You could tell he was yelling at Robert Lang. Robert Lang with a real deft, nice move. Little touch pass backwards between his own feet to Marty Straka right on the doorstep. And they're getting themselves pumped up now.
Recchi, Corson, and Koivu out there for the Canadians, and Kevin Constantine counters with Alex Hicks, Eddie Olczyk, and Rob Brown. Now it's deflected back into the Montreal zone. Here is Hicks. Hicks trying to spin away from Craig Rivet. Now Wawrinka puts it in deep. He gets it back. It is slapped away out near the line. Ian Moran held it in for a moment. Now it's back the other way. Recchi trying to get himself loose. Now Koivu sweeping behind the Pittsburgh goal, protecting the puck. Look at the quick move by Koivu. Backhands it just wide of Barrasso. Recchi has it again. Ulanov has the gun cocked and he put it in wide. Hansen at the right point and hopped by him, and Rob Brown able to bank it out to center ice.
That's one of the things that Saku Koivu does so well. He controls the puck in the offensive zone, hanging on to it and making something out of nothing.
Well, speaking of making something happen, we asked Kevin Hatcher what the formula was for success in their victory in Game 4 up in Montreal.
We were real good along the boards, picking up the puck and outmanning them down low to gain possession, and we got some traffic in front of the net. I think we got to continue to shoot the puck and get the puck through, and you know, Yags went to the net to get a great goal. That's the way the goals are scored in the playoffs. You got to go to the net and pay the price.
They haven't been able to get to the net as often as they would like in this game. Straka got there all alone on the last goal, and along the boards, actually, it was even for a while, but Montreal had taken it away, certainly in the second half of the second period. It's a lot easier to do that kind of stuff when you're playing with a lead, which Montreal was, but Pittsburgh has got to pick up all those areas that Kevin Hatcher just mentioned.
Here is Olesen. Yager is being watched the full length of the ice by Thornton. He has followed him from all the way back down in front of Barrasso. Here's Olesen, drives the shot, moves the save. Rebound, scooped up by Barnes. He's checked on the play. Now Yager gets to it. Francis, checked by Popovich. Barnes gets to the loose puck. Stu Barnes open for a moment, makes a fake. Barnes with a shot, that was blocked. And it's picked up by the Canadians, who just do clear it. Malakoff was looking for a penalty call.
And Pittsburgh is going to the net. That's a sheer sign. Mo got bowled over on the play, and it was Yuri Slager, their defenseman, jumping up into the play. So now all of a sudden, after Pittsburgh's first and only goal so far, now their offense has got a little personality.
So the touch-up is the icy call, and Andy Moog, he's going to see a lot more traffic with Pittsburgh trying to fight from behind.
Yuri Slager went to the net and got pushed into Andy Moog. Andy Moog didn't like it much. Took one look over at referee Mick Magoo, and then another one. What do you think, Mick? And he says no. Our question in our Sports Zone poll tonight is, do you like the continued strict enforcement of the rules in the playoffs? Jump onto the internet, ESPN.com, and give us your vote, please.
Well, Andy Moog felt there should have been a penalty there, but he knows he's a veteran. He's been through this. He's been through traffic in front of him. He's been through guys trying to run him over, but the Penguins are doing what they have to do, Brian.
Yep.
Try to knock him off his game.
Well, Slager went to the net. I think he was pushed by the defenseman there, too. I don't think there was any question that that one was not a penalty, but Andy Moog probably didn't know that. Probably didn't care. He's looking for one anyway.
That second line is out there for the Penguins. That is a counter for the only goal. It is Tamer and Hatcher out there defensively. All alone in front is Tom Foose. He may have had more time, but tried to quickly redirect it. Boy, how is he so open? And the pressure continues for Montreal. Lang now along the boards. Morozov able to clear. Straka trying to get to it. Good read there by Manson. Now here is Lang again. Lays it to the boards. And it is cleared by the Canadians. Damphousse. Look down here. A hit coming. Stevenson by Ian Moran. And now the Penguins looking to come out of their own zone. There's Wawrinka looking for someone open. Can't find anybody. That is picked off by Ulanov in the Canadian zone. Now Ulanov again. Center ice. Koivu couldn't get a stick on it. It's recovered. Penguins try to come back on the attack. But again, the Canadians so solid, Brian.
Rive made a great play there. He came up and attacked Hicks right at the blue line. Never gave him an inch to get any speed going or get the puck in deep. Turned it over again right outside the blue line and out.
Koivu gets it to Corson. Tried to put it out in front. Good read there by Barrasso. He got the goal stick on it. And back the other way, the Penguins. Go away from the puck. No, Paul made a surprise there.
Hicks tried to play that one out. Corson gave him a bump, pushed him into the zone. Hicks went with it and tried to draw a penalty. No such luck.
Cross-ice pass by the Canadians. A dangerous one, but they'll get away with it here as Ulanov able to clear. Now Bureau with it. Sweeps it deep into the Pittsburgh zone. We're winding down toward the halfway mark of period 3. 3-1 Canadians lead. They led 2-0 after 2. After a scoreless first period and got the early goal in the third. Before the Penguins finally able to answer on a goal by Straka. Francis bumped off the puck and it's picked up by Slager. He fakes the shot. He goes wide on Popovich. Slager circling. Rolls it out in front and Jagr could not get a stick on it. Now Jagr gets control. Hands it off. Slager, long one-timer, missed the net. Around the boards, Olesen and Popovich got there at about the same time. Now Francis helping out. Puck controlled by Jagr, but he could not keep it in. Jagr able to get it to Barnes. He dumps it to the right of Mo Popovich to the benefit back there without a stick, and Lang able to steal the puck because of that. Comes to table and shot redirected wide. Here is Hatcher with it to the net. Couldn't get it through. Zalapsky with a smart icing here. As they had a defenseman out there without a stick. And that gives us a chance to go back to our studios and Bill Pito. Bill?
The pressure's on there in Philadelphia. Thanks, Bill. Last shift for Vinny Damphousse. He had a terrific chance to give his team an even bigger lead. The Pittsburgh defense got crossed up. Both of them you can see over on one side. Look at Vinny Damphousse all alone. He tried to go for the one-timer, redirected as no way that Barrasso would have been able to get over in time, but it looked like it hopped over his stick.
Let's get to our Molson Ice League leaders. Speaking of Vinny Damphousse and Jaromir Jagr, they are up there among the leading playoff scorers. Of course, Peter Forsberg leading the way with those 11 points. Vinny Damphousse, 6 goals and 18 points in 29 career games against Tom Barrasso.
Getting off to a good start in game 1 and getting some points on the board, I think really cleared his head and gave him some confidence, and that was critical for Montreal because they need 2 lines going. And now with Saku Koivu back in the lineup especially, that first line is really running on all cylinders here tonight, and Damphouse's line has been doing a nice job the whole series so far.
Here is Straka to Morozov. Morozov tried to go back to Lang. Wierzynski anticipated that and puts it all the way down the ice. This will be another icing call. On the touch-up by Wawrinka, it's a 2-goal advantage for the Montreal Canadiens as one of these teams will lead 3 games to 2 when this one's over. We'll continue with Game 5 coverage in a moment. There were 14 players that scored at least 30 goals in the regular season that participated in the playoffs. Mark Recchi, one of them. He and Peter Bondra of the Capitals, Jeff Friesen of the Sharks were the only ones going into action tonight of those 14 30-goal scorers that did not have a playoff goal. But, of course, Recchi has gotten himself on the board with a goal tonight. And, of course, in fairness to Peter Bondra, he's been injured.
It's a great sign for Montreal. Getting Recchi going and putting one in the net. And that line just has chemistry again. You can tell. Koivu started the game. Corson, Koivu, and Recchi have had chemistry all year, and they've shown it here in this game.
Well, just the energy that Koivu gives you, those great moves, the way he darts in and out.
Puck control.
This is Slager. Again, just to update you, we have had no update on the Kasparaitis injury that happened apparently in the first period. Benoit Brunet, who went out with either a bad arm or a bad shoulder after he took a hit in the second period, we are told will not be back.
Scott Thornton did come back. He
Yes,
was
he
the other
did.
one that was hurt for
Yep.
a while. He got a couple of stitches and did return.
Barnes trying to get himself free to get to that loose puck. Canadians around the boards. Olesen holds it in for the Penguins. Now Bureau chops at it and just does get it by Slager. Here's Jaromir Jagr waiting for the line change to finish. Jagr still controls, circles back.
And Montreal's not in any rush to chase him around the ice. They had all 5 guys back in between their own blue line and center ice.
And here's a steal by Recchi. Recchi tries to put it in front, and it was knocked away. Barrasso clears it ahead. It's off the stick of Lang and recovered by Straka with speed into the Montreal zone. Morozov to the net. That was deflected wide of Moog. Hatcher plays it back to the corner. Lang plays it back to the line. Warenko with a shot. Save, rebound was there. And Hatcher just bailed. He is upset with himself. He had a chance.
He sure did. And Kevin Hatcher is starting to get up on the play, carry the puck, lead the rush when he can, or follow up. He did it both on this shift. He carried the puck up, and then this is what happened later on. He stayed inside the zone. That's bad luck. It comes out, it handcuffs him, it's in his feet. He tried to either kick it up to his stick or kick it towards the net and then just touch it. Look at that. Oh, man. That close. But Hatcher has to do that. Andy Moog has been sharp. Kevin Hatcher, 3 goals and 15 points in 24 games against Andy Moog. So he probably feels like he has a little bit of a formula and knows what he can do against Andy. Oh, that eye looks rough, doesn't it?
Ouch. Doesn't look like it's getting any better. Dave Strader along with Brian Engblom and our Player on Ice coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs, continuing here with Game 5 of this Eastern Conference quarterfinal series. And this face-off deep in the Montreal zone, 7.5 on the clock here in the third period. Olchuk and Damphousse, and backhanded by Brown right through the crease. Picked up by Turner Stevenson. He'll push it ahead into the Pittsburgh zone. Ian Moran tried to reverse it. Collides there with Stevenson. Moran jams it around. Now it comes free. Picked up by Rosinski. He wanted to put it out in front. Canadians now with some pressure in the Pittsburgh zone. They have the 2-goal lead. A chance here for Damphousse was blocked. And Rob Brown slides it ahead. They try to go center ice for Hicks. That was broken up. The Penguins, Brian, just not sharp with their passing. I mean, they've gone through very short bursts where they've had a couple of good passing sequences, but not often enough.
Damphouse's line got down real deep. All 3 forwards got deep, and I saw a couple of players on the bench stand up, and you can see the coaches yelling a little bit too. And I'm sure what they were yelling is, hey, somebody get back. This is a 3-1 lead. This is not the time for all 3 of our guys to be down deep, but they did a good enough job on it that Pittsburgh was unable to get control of the puck and get an outnumbered attack going the other way. But in this kind of scenario, you have to have one guy hanging back at all times. No outnumbered attacks when you're protecting a lead like this.
Mark Bureau gets the stick down versus the visiting player, but the draw control by Barnes. Olesen a drive, loose puck, Jagr digs it free. Oh, and it never got through. He tried to stuff it in on the short side. Moog got a piece of it, and then he got some help from teammates who cleared it out of there.
One of the great things about big-time goal scorers is they never give up on the play. Even when other people think it's already in or think it's frozen or think something else, these guys never give up. Jaromir Jagr shaking his head a little bit. Good, smart shot by Freddie Olesen through about 6 sets of legs. Jagr gets a whack at it, loosens it up, goes quick hands, goes from the backhand to the forehand. He only had a second to do it. And it didn't quite go in for him, but he saw it there, and he just stayed with it. There it is. Oh, man, it went under the heel of his stick.
Wow.
His momentum is taking him behind the net. So in one smooth motion, he has to go from backhand to forehand and try and stuff it in that open net. And there are his numbers for the night, and he's going to add to those with 6.5 to go and still down by 2.
Bureau to take another important face-off for the Canadians against Francis. They tie it up, and it comes out. Quick shot, score! Jagr, a one-timer, gives the salute.
Moog is extremely slow to get back up on his feet. He is in a lot of pain right now. He's got a bad back. And he is in great pain. The goal was scored right off the faceoff, and it's a goal scorer's goal. Jagr just gets it away quickly. And Andy Moog had to move. Look at he is in big-time pain. And Jose Theodore is their backup goaltender because Thibault still has a pulled groin, did not make the trip. Fourth goal of the playoffs for Jaromir Jagr. Oh, man, not a good sign for Montreal. Let's take a look again.
And a strange face-off, Brian, because it was not a clean face-off win.
Right. Here's the draw. Francis half wins it, then stays with it, gets it back to Jagr. And Andy goes down. He got a piece of that. It hits his leg on the right thigh and goes in off his right thigh. Now, it might be that, but I have a feeling it might be that back.
Oh,
yeah, inside the right thigh, and he goes down. That's difficult to tell what his problem is.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right. That looked like it missed the pad, and it hit him flush on the inside of that right thigh.
Good job by Ronnie Francis to stay with that puck. That's a key. He won the draw, but actually Montreal were better positioned. They controlled it, but didn't do anything good with it. So Francis got it, whacked it back to Jagr, and the instantaneous shot caught Moog in the process of moving. And oh man, is he in pain. Yeah, it's that right leg. I can tell by the way he just got up. Watch the inside of the right knee. And see if you can see the puck coming through his legs. Yeah. That must have missed all the padding. And he was writhing in pain instantly. Yeah, flexing that right knee right now. But he has had a bad back. Andy Moog's had back problems for quite some time. And it was really difficult to tell initially whether he had just tweaked his back somehow. But it's that right leg. Yeah, you can see him wincing in pain, flinching. Referee's over there saying, Andy, you got to make a decision here. We can't delay this indefinitely. Jose Theodore, the backup goaltender, there's not enough room on the bench here, so he is over in the runway, over by their gate. Here he comes out. They're trying to delay this as long as they can. Andy Moog wants to stay in. You can tell by his body language, he's getting a little water now. Now they're waving Theodore back. And Andy's going to hang. Andy's going to hang in.
Jagr's goal is 4th of this series and the 50th of his career as Theodore played 35 minutes in Game 4 and stopped all 10 shots that he faced in just his 3rd career playoff appearance. So Alain Vigneault probably a bit relieved that his veteran Andy Moog is going to be able to hang in there. But again, Francis, he lost the faceoff. Actually, Montreal got possession of it, Brian. It looked like they were trying to play it back into the corner, and Francis stayed with it, stole it, and got it back to Jagr.
Exactly. Great job. Experienced play by Ronnie Francis, and again, the great players never give up on it. Watch this. Here's the draw again. Montreal will actually be better positioned. There they have it. Zlapski tries to tip it to Popovich. Popovich inadvertently gives it right back to Francis, and the quickness of the shot by Jagr has Andy Moog moving from right to left. Gets squared up with the shooter. It's already on its way. Boom, off the inside of the knee. 3-2 game now, and these fans are really jumping.
Well, Kevin Hatcher was talking about shoot, shoot, shoot. You can be sure they're going to try to really test Andy Moog here, but an icing call is going to allow Andy a little bit more time to work off that right leg.
And let's watch Jaromir Jagr. We had him isolated on that last goal. He just watches the play, gets ready. How about that for a perfect pass? Oh, man, that's like practice. I think I'd take 100,000 of those anytime.
Well, you don't see Jaromir Jagr with all the great goals that he scores, Brian, shoot too many one-timers from that distance.
No. And again, a great shooter like him, that's really another mistake. With that kind of time, everybody starts looking at the play in front. The winger on the near side should have been going out towards the point and at least skating by Jagr so that he doesn't get a good chance. But it's all in the pass now.
Mark Recchi on this faceoff wins it cleanly to Malakoff. Recchi's goal early in the 3rd right now is the difference. 3-2, the Canadiens lead the Penguins with just over 6 minutes to go here in regulation time as Slager hands it off to Olofsson.
Montreal needs a big shift here. They need to get the control of the puck, get some cycling going down to Pittsburgh again, take some heat off.
Now Jagr trying to use that strength of his. Malakoff got away with being very aggressive. Well, Malakoff doesn't have a stick or his right glove.
Yeah, actually, I think it's Yager that got away with something. Malakoff was smart. He was all twisted up with Yager. The fans wanted a penalty on Malakoff, and Malakoff just dropped the stick and went and booted the puck up the bar at Forbes.
Malakoff went to get another stick, and Moog had to come back and play that puck that was dumped into the zone, but the Canadians will clear it here, and this will be another icing call.
Malakoff and Yager have been up against each other this entire series. Two big men with skills, speed, talent, and they get twisted up in behind Andy Moog and the Montreal net. Probably a good decision by Malakoff. There's Malakoff, 38 red. They'll go back behind the net and see, look where the stick is already on Malakoff. Now, Yager has closed his arm on the stick and the hand. You could tell that because Malakoff has no glove on and no stick, but he saw the puck was loose. Here you'll get a real good look. Smart play by Yager. He made it look like he was being hooked and held, but he was really the one doing the holding, but neither one got a penalty.
I learned something there about our goal cam. I didn't know it could shoot backwards.
Hey, versatile in that goal cam. Outstanding.
Now we got it facing out to take a look at the face-off that's coming from Andy Moog's left. To take the face-off for the Penguins. Recchi for the Canadians. 5:25 on the clock. Here's Marenka. It comes in, and Moog able to cover up.
Face-offs, face-offs, face-offs again. Pittsburgh has done a good job on face-offs in this game. It's going to be critical from here on in. A little over 5 minutes to go. Montreal has struggled in the department of face-offs throughout this series. There's only one game that I can remember where they came out on the good end of all the face-offs. But right now, apparently it's 32-31 in favor of Montreal.
Oh, they've made a huge, there it is right there. Yeah, they've come back.
Yeah, they've come back because they were down by, what, 8 or 9,
yep,
I believe.
Early on
in the game. So Montreal has come back.
And they win another one here. Good job by Domfus, and the puck cleared up the boards, but not out. That hit Warenka, the defenseman. Now Manson has dumped. The puck comes free. Here's lying behind the net. Straka out in front. Oh, and just standing on it was Morozov. Domfus is taken down, and the puck is cleared. What a difference in the desperation in the play of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Incredible, isn't it? Once you get a little bit of a sniff and get something going, they scored 2 goals now. Now there is desperation, and there's some will in their play right now. Fighting for loose pucks makes all the difference.
Here is Hatcher. He'll backhand it. Will he catch the glass? No. He used the wedge instead of the 7-iron there, and it ended up going too high with 4:46 left in the third. Still very much a hockey game as Moog tried to hang in after the leg injury.
We're going to be keeping a close eye on Andy Moog's right leg. He took that shot on the inside of the knee somewhere. Pittsburgh Penguins shooters are not stupid. If they get a chance, they're going to be going low right side. I can almost bet on it.
Mick Magoo, the referee, had to go over and tell Kevin Constantine as we were coming back from the commercial, come on, Kevin, let's go. Let's get the players out here. Of course, Kevin Constantine, for the most part, plays a shorter bench than Alain Vigneault does, and he certainly wants to get this line of Francis, Barnes, and Yager out there as much as he can in the final 4:46 of regulation.
Pittsburgh's going to want to get some rubber to Andy Moog right now and test and see, because that leg could very easily be stiffening up on him, whether it's a bruise or most likely that's what it is, a bruise. A big knot could be forming right now. Difficult to flex and straighten that knee.
In deep for Barnes, does a good job protecting the puck. Puck squirts free now. Olsen back to the line. One time by Slater, saved by Moog. He hung in there and made the save, and the Canadians clear.
And he gets up flexing that right knee immediately too. And he went down and did make a great play. Made a good save, took away the shot down low, and as he got up, he flexed that knee. So scrambles are going to be critical. He's going to need some help down low in front. If Pittsburgh gets him down in a scramble formation, which Andy can sometimes have problems with anyway, he popped right back up there. That takes a lot of guts. Let's watch him again here. He'll go down, makes the save very nicely, pops right back up as the play went down on the other end of the ice. Yep, right knee sore, all right. That's one of the areas on the scouting chart, if you want to call it that, on Andy Moog, is if you get him down in scrambles. I mean, he's 38 years of age and perhaps is not quite as quick to pop back up as he used to. And with this bad knee now, it's going to make it even more difficult as this game goes on.
Now Barnes will step in to take the face-off against Bureau. Barnes won it. It's picked up by Yager to the net. Save made there by Andy Moog. As Yager very accurate from that angle along the boards. Canadians clear it back into the Pittsburgh zone. Icing again. Yes, on the touch-up. Well, don't forget, coming up immediately following our coverage here at Game 5 NHL Tonight here on ESPN2, Bill Pito along with Barry Melrose. And that's all coming your way immediately following Player on Ice here from Pittsburgh.
Well, the two worst words that Andy Moog could hear right now is goal Pittsburgh. And the next word after that, overtime.
Yeah, that's right. And probably the best thing with this type of injury, assuming that it was the puck, hitting him on a spot on his leg that didn't have any padding. Worst thing for him now is probably rest and have that thing really stiffen up. As long as he's moving around and playing, he probably can at least tolerate it. Here is Barnes now as the Penguins cycle deep in the Canadian zone. Popovich comes up with it, and he backhands it out to center ice. And now Popovich. Here's a steal. Here's Yager with a chance. Trying to slide it across, and it was blocked. Great defensive play by Malakoff. Francis tries to center that. Hits a skate. He tries again. It's deflected by Moog, and it's out to center ice. Canadian player tried to draw a penalty there, Corson, as he went down.
Shane Corson took a calculated risk. If he had not gone down, he had a chance to fight through that check and go for the loose puck and a possible breakaway. But perhaps he was a little tired and decided that he'd try to go for the penalty call instead. He got neither.
Puck is flipped back the other way. It'll be Barrasso to play it there for Warenka. Now to Hatcher. Slides it ahead for Robert Lang. Lang left side. And Straka could not make the play with it. Back the other way, Brzezinski puts it deep into the Pittsburgh zone under 3 minutes to go in regulation. 3-2 Canadians. Warenka hands it off now for Straka. Straka crosses the red line. Canadians lined up there, just forcing him to dump it in. Moog couldn't get to it. Brzezinski could not either. It bounces in the middle of that Montreal zone. Hatcher along, backhander. Straka had it in his feet, couldn't find it. It's cleared by Brisebois. Out to Turner Stevenson at center ice.
Montreal's fortunate there. Wyshynski had a chance to get the puck out of the zone. He was only 2 or 3 feet away. He let up on the plate, didn't get it out, and went back down towards the net. Those are the types of plays that end up in your net.
Well, here's Morin failing to clear the zone. Koivu hands it off to Recchi. Recchi one-hands it in front. Olchuk is there, getting some help. And it's cleared down to Rob Brown. Ahead now for Hicks. Looking to go wide on Ulana. Hicks to the net with it. Steered aside by Moog. Puck comes free, and it's picked up by Koivu. Under 2 minutes to go in regulation. Koivu with it. He is so great at the stop-and-go moves. His shot deflected to the boards, and Recchi dumps it back behind Barrasso. Rob Brown with it. The Penguins will be looking to make a change here and get the big line out. It comes to center ice. Olesen fakes it, now carries into the zone. Plays it ahead for Yager. Popovich checks him. Yager now tries to kick it free. He does. Side of the net. Rob Brown could not get a stick on it. Yager is still down. It's picked up by Olesen. Hammers it to the corner. Yager is there. He makes a move on Ulanov. Now it's picked up by Brown. His centering pass intercepted. And the Canadians clear. And getting to it first is going to be Don Foose. He breaks it along on Barrasso to the forehead. It's goal! What a great move by Vinny Don Foose.
Some great work by the Montreal Canadiens inside their own zone, and a terrific move by Vinny Damphousse on the breakaway. His second goal of the playoffs, and his streak of points in every game continues. But down low inside their own zone, Mark Bureau will block a shot that is huge. There's Popovich doing some great work along with Ulanov against Yager along the boards. Bureau had lost his stick out at the blue line, but he would go out and charge. There's Bureau, and he would block a shot which would be critical. It was just before this sequence. Then there's the lob pass. Here goes Vinny Damphousse. This is a goal scorer, folks. Watch this. Frees Barrasso back the other way at full speed. Puts on the brakes partially. Terrific work, Vinny Damphousse. Backhand, back to the forehand. He had Tom Barrasso sliding from his right to his left. Tucked it underneath the arm.
What a great goal.
Yeah. But it takes good key plays deep inside your own zone to set things up. And there were 2 or 3 excellent defensive plays. Well, actually, he went over the arm. I thought he slid it underneath. Barrasso, pretty tough for him to go. He's trying to take away what he thinks is going to be a move to the far side. And Vinny Damphousse is in the zone now. He's played some terrific hockey in this series.
Well, I would think if you pick a most valuable player for the Montreal Canadiens so far in this series, this guy would certainly be a candidate. And let's finish off our Sports Zone poll, and let's see what you fans think of the continued strict enforcement of the rules. 70% of the 67-50 say yes, stay with it, and that's good to see, because the scoring has been up. I think scoring chances have certainly been up, and while officials like Mick Magoo have taken some criticism, it's what they've been told to do.
I think we're all ready for it. People in the stands, watching on television, even the players themselves, I think they all want to see the game being played the way it's supposed to be played, and that means that you got to mind your P's and Q's even in the playoffs and in crucial situations. And again, we're referring to things like obstruction and the 5-on-3s. There's so many 5-on-3 power plays in the playoffs. The players have to learn that there's going to be no time where they're going to get any freebies out there.
Ulanov got the only assist on the Damphousse goal after Ulanov made the defensive play. He was the one that made that great lob pass out to center ice and sent Damphousse away.
And on the prior shift, even before that, a tremendous play that you pointed out, Dave, by Malakoff, who dove and intercepted a pass where Jágr would have been able to bury almost certainly to tie the game.
1 minute remaining in the period.
1 minute left now in regulation. Tom Barrasso started to come to the bench, but the Canadians able to clear. Now it comes to Jágr. Jágr nearly got loose behind the defense. He picks it up. Barrasso gets to the bench. A centering pass across. Picked up. Now to the front. It went off of Francis, and it's cleared out to center ice. Here's Recchi for the open net. He scores his second of the game and second of the series.
The big line came to play tonight. Saku Koivu deserves a heck of a lot of credit for being the chemistry, the gel that's held it together. Mark Recchi has had a big night. Koivu was not out on the ice on this last play, but I'll tell you what, he has everything to do with this line playing well. Coming out of the zone, Montreal turns the puck over. Good quickness through the middle there. That's Shane Corson just making sure, gets it ahead to Recchi. He gets to the red line, which is what he has to do. And with no goalie in the net, he knows how to find it.
Second of the series, second tonight, as you see, and 19th of his career. Corson the only assist. And there are your 2 goal scorers down the stretch here for the Montreal Canadiens after the Penguins had pulled them within 1.
And again, some great defensive plays before the goal was scored. This is one of them I'm talking about. Look at that effort by Malakoff. Barnes was down low. That's who Jágr was trying to go to. That was a great defensive play that would have tied the score. Montreal comes back and scores at the other end. 2-goal swing.
It comes to Hatcher. Hatcher has it knocked away. And so, for the second time in 3 tries, the Canadians winning on the road. And the Penguins are going to have to equal that task in Montreal on Sunday night, or they're going to have the early exit from the playoffs.
And Pittsburgh's going to have to start thinking right now, Dave, about getting off to the same good physical start that they did in Game 4. They were not able to do it here in this game. Neither was Montreal for that reason, because I think the early penalties called by Mick Magoo, which were deserved, took the starch out of both teams. They seemed to get really tentative, and neither team was hitting after that. Much more important right now for Pittsburgh and the position they will be in going up to Montreal for Sunday. They will have to establish it without being undisciplined and without taking penalties.
Well, the Penguins, you see, they've been successful since '87, losing only once in the first round, or twice, I should say, in their last 8 appearances. And Kevin Constantine's club will be under the gun Sunday night as the puck is cleared by the Canadians, and we've got Tyler Wright going after the Montreal player. Might have been Ulanov, and immediately Barrasso comes down the ice. And a little bit of message sending, I'm sure, by the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, some frustration, some message sending, definitely. This one's going to end peacefully from the looks of things. Tommy Barrasso came flying down from the other end. Of course, that's the exit that they go out, to go off the ice. So it's convenient for him to do that, but he was looking for anything to escalate too. See a little tap by Andy Moog to Tommy Barrasso. A little friendly gesture there, and I'll tell you what, a gutsy performance by Andy Moog in more ways than one, as I think that Montreal would have been more than just a little on edge if Andy had to have been pulled after he injured that leg of his.
Take a look at how it got started as Ulanov right there, the little extra shot to Tyler Wright. And again, Tyler Wright not going to take that, immediately goes after Ulanov. But you're right, Brian, the cooler heads will prevail as the teams head down to their respective dressing rooms and the Canadians surrounding their veteran